Hello. Good evening and welcome to Mayday Roleplay. Thank you for joining us at a more nocturnal hour as we continue to view Givak Queen's Atrocity Exhibition, a published module for KULT Divinity Loss. But before we begin our festivities this evening, some mentionable things need to be mentioned. We'd like to thank our handler-level Patreon contributors. Their involvement allows us here at Mayday to continue to produce and tell stories for your viewing pleasure. So thank you, Adrian K, OG Penn, Bimblewart, Cameron S, Eric A, Jonathan M, Ren, Bimblewart, Ren, WTF, and Alex Johnson. If you too would like to contribute to all that is Mayday, be sure to find us on Patreon. You'll get access to early releases, art, and our Discord server built around our wonderful community there. If this is your first time at the Atrocity Exhibition and you need to catch up or want to view our catalog of completed seasons and shows like Tales from the Loop or Vegas by Night, subscribe to our YouTube channel for our VODs or Spotify and SoundCloud for podcast-friendly recordings. And as always, follow us on all major social media platforms and our website for updates on future content and other news. KULT Divinity Loss is a horror game, and this actual play is intended for mature audiences. Be advised there may be violent themes, adult language, and the exploration of darker subjects. Please take care of yourself and be aware. Things to look out for are body horror, blood and gore, eyes, corpses, the disappearance of people, religious iconography, acts of mass violence, and death. Safety tools are used at our table, and X-Card can be employed at any time. And unless we have anything else to touch on, all right, let's get started. Actions render consequences. To acquire forbidden knowledge, dark secrets, or broker deals with those beyond the illusion, something has to give. Flesh is only temporary. Blood can always be acquired. What matters is what you get from sacrificing those on the altars of old gods, and can you live with it long enough to enjoy its benefits? So enjoy your power, your influence, and your fame. You still have time. Dubois. 3 weeks ago, you arrived at the Cecil Thorne Art Center a bit after midday as your mother Marielle insisted that you two should have lunch after her final shipment had arrived. And while on time, nowhere could she be found and her gallery closed. So as you wait, you comb through the remaining galleries, settling on the Hewitt, still housing a series of hyperrealism. And at its crown center of the exhibit is The Taking of Christ by Caravaggio. What are you doing while you wait?
Cole is studying the way that the light is kind of splashing across the scene, and like giving depth to the place that isn't very specific, but is incredibly specific because of the people and the way that the light is like glinting off of armor and like the shadow thrown across their faces, and they're just kind of trying to like send themselves back in time to when this might have been made and understand what that would have been like to see something that someone like had their hand on a brush and put this on canvas, and it's lasted for centuries. And what would that have been like to see? Like, the only thing they would have seen close to that is real life. And I think Cole is kind of struck by the fact that like in the modern day there's like television and movies and YouTube and whatever else, and it's really interesting to like, this is the only visual medium that people had back then, and this was how people like connected with stories. And so I think Cole's just kind of lost in thought about that.
While you're fixated on studying this portrait, this painting, as far as you knew, you were alone. The gallery is closed on Tuesdays for to the general public, so it's usually vacant where you go. But it's the interruption of somebody talking right beside you as you're fixated that kind of startles you in the moment. And when you kind of look over to this person who's talking to you, you notice that it's Alano Toset, head of security here at the Cecil Thorne Art Center. And as he interrupts your trains of thoughts, what he says is, the first time I saw Caravaggio was during a time of great turmoil in my life. Do you like Caravaggio, Cole? And he seems like fixated on the painting just as much as you were, kind of just studying it from like corner to corner.
This is my favorite piece, but it's a good one. The light, the people, could reach in and touch his face.
Yeah. Caravaggio's had this way of exposing things to the light, things that we wanted to keep hidden. Doubt, vanity, violence. All of those things make us human. It's a shame, though, they won't be featuring the Caravaggio in this next exhibition. That queen loved Caravaggio.
Yes, I've heard.
Your mom sent me to get you. She's waiting downstairs, and she hates to wait.
Of course, I've been waiting. She couldn't come get me herself, and they'll start kind of give a last glance over the art and kind of push off and start walking back.
It was nice talking to you, Cole.
You too, Mr. Toset.
And Cole, you just start heading down the stairs, and as you're mid-stair, you can hear the loud sound of your mother asking where have you been, and why you weren't on time. As Alano just continues to watch you before he turns back to the Caravaggio painting, and continues to watch it.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm so sad I was muted. I had a really good one and no one heard it.
Just say it.
That's too late. I'll save it for another time.
Why don't we get started with cast introductions, starting with you, Lev.
I'm Lev. I'm your resident problem child, and I'll be playing Cole Dubois.
I'm Amanda, and I'm playing Dr. Isadora Swan.
I'm Caleb James Miller. I'm the only good one, and I'll be playing Hugh Letho.
Bless.
Take that fucking back. You shit stirrer.
Starting already.
This was wrong.
I'm Sergio. I'll be playing Cecil Throne, and just remember, Lev, there's always another stream.
I know. It's locked away in the vault now.
My name is Zach, and I am playing the concept known as M.I.N.T, and I have a degree. Okay.
I'm
so
Eli.
much out of context. So much out of context.
Just want everybody to know that.
And I'm Eli. I'm your storyteller tonight. let's keep things rolling. Let's do some general housekeeping. We have some things we need to square away before we get started. Sergio and Caleb, I had you guys pre-roll your guys' start of sessions. So let's just quickly get those results. Both of you, I believe, rolled terribly.
Yeah. I might as well start because I rolled worse than Caleb. Both so low that you have 3 moves against me.
Dang.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
It's nice knowing you, dude.
Yeah, no kidding.
I've got a little time removed from my little death clock here. You have 2 moves against me and a hold from the curse trait. But good news, everybody. I got 3 turns ready for my academic trait, meaning that I can convince these demons that I'm really well respected in my collegiate authority. So I'm sure that's going to change the tides.
Maybe you can logic puzzle your way out of hell.
That might mean something to my demon mom.
Hold on,
Yeah,
Caleb.
just-
If you pull something out, I will buy you dinner. I don't know what.
Okay. I'm going to start asking the demons if they've ever read Kafka and see where we go from there.
Just cast tenure.
Just cast tenure. Okay. Perfect. Well, that's good to know and good for me. Let's go move on to our relationship. So every session, we add or minus to our PC or our NPC relationship. So let's go around really quick and suss out who we're adding to our friendships, who we're detracting from our friendships, you know? Who wants to start?
Well, I was thinking, in terms of like PC, I felt that me and Cecil were brought a little closer, just because of the sheer animosity that took place after our big like who gets to spill it first thing, and M.I.N.T withholding those files. I think it made it a little clear that like there were sides drawn, and even if it's temporary, I do think that he was drawn to Cecil. And despite Cecil having the dumbest fucking idea in the world to try and, sell the devil, he does see deliberately like how similar their situations are, that they're just dealing with the last few seconds running out on the hourglass. So I do think that drew Hugh a little closer to Cecil.
Perfect. Love that. Who's next?
I mean, I guess I might as well kind of go along with the idea. I'll just add 1 + 1 to Hugh for sure. He was the only one standing up for me. So I think Cecil would.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think in a similar fashion, I am going to -1 on Cecil because he knew more things about my mom than I did.
Yeah.
And also he's trying to actively do some shiesty shit that Cole has trauma against.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, same. -1 to Cecil because I did try to. I did. Yeah. It was
Just
almost letting you
continuing.
die, so I don't have to go to court.
We're already negative.
Yeah, does that like there's a new name for it, right? When you go double negative on them? I can't remember.
I think we were at 0, if anything. But...
Oh, okay. So now it's veering into
Yeah.
the negatives.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Hugh actually gets +1 for me.
Hey. Because I'm spooky.
Because of I'm a doctor, and
Yeah.
the amount of eyes
The amount of eyes.
I want
Awesome.
to I want to actually take a minute. And
I love that.
so
Let me see
+1.
your eyes.
You have nice eyes.
Mhm. Are they all the same pupils? Do they react the same way? Can I do this? Yes.
And for that reason, we are friends.
Yeah, for that reason alone.
Perfect. And the last thing I think we need to just quickly talk about is your guys' experience. You guys have earned yourself all advancements to your playbooks. So I just want to quickly just touch base on what you guys chose to advance, and if you want to throw in a why, if there's anywhere, feel free to do that. Who's got something cool?
Can I plead the fifth on this advancement? I don't know if I necessarily want to say.
Okay.
Oh, so
I
you
mean,
have
it's-
one.
It's probably going to come to light in some way. I'll say this: I gained a new advantage.
Yes, that's fine. That's general.
Fucking hell.
Okay, yes, I also gained a new advantage. It is about art.
All about that. Isadora, what did you snag?
I actually I needed to up my attributes out of the negative, so that's what I did.
Beautiful. Stronger. Faster, smarter. Cole?
I took a I took a +1 to my perception because I feel like Cole is even more paranoid than they were.
Ooh.
I mean,
Their eyes are open.
I mean, they've been open. They're just being forced and held open
Confused,
now.
All right. And you, dear Hugh, what have you
So
got?
originally I was going to do an attribute, but I'm getting FOMO that everybody's picking fucking advantages. So
No.
I'm going to take an advantage too. I took
Okay.
a death drive, which means that in a situation where I am fighting, I fight with no regard to personal safety, and it gives me some pluses in the fight.
Interesting.
All right. Reckless attack. Cool.
Yeah,
Feels right
Let's
for
go.
Letho.
yeah.
All right, cool. I think that is all we need to. Is there anything else that anybody needs to grab on the top of session before we get started? Just double checking. No. Cool, perfect. So you all managed to escape Dubois' gallery. You met some of the things that was lurking in the darkness. Things that look like zombies, people, and things that look out of the fragments of a hellish bout of creation. You guys get through the service tunnels with the help of Mary Jansen, which seems to have led you back safely down to the second floor. You guys contemplate your next moves, and you guys believe arming yourself with a gun seems the best option here.
The way you say
It
it
was
like
an
that, just is
idea.
like, you guys think this is gonna help.
And I need you to believe
fuck, dude.
in the
You
team.
chose arming yourself over safety, and that's fine. That's good.
Like you wouldn't?
Choices.
Look, we're Americans. We just celebrated our independence, goddammit. This
Our
is all
first
we
question
know.
is always, where's our gun?
Yeah.
God.
Hit the Glock, goddammit. I don't care if Baphomet's coming back.
Yeah.
So you all managed to, through this terrible fray of this exhibition, managed to make it to Cecil's office, where you have barricaded yourself there for the time being. And while you guys are noticing that you're not quite where you should be, whether it's in time or space, you guys start to get to know each other and kind of, realize that maybe y'all aren't so different when it comes down to a few things. And as Isadora was about to kind of, participate in the conversation, outside against the window of the sliver of Cecil's office, you see two people banging their hands frantically on the door. One is that Hugh clocks is William Reeve, a private investigator that he had spoken with earlier in the night, and the other one was Rahim Nassar, who's one of the art gallery, somebody who works in art sale and trade, that was invited here. They're both frantically
Was
banging up
Rahim
against
the one who accused the Dubois of stealing a painting? Am I remembering?
Yes.
Okay.
In M.I.N.T's performance, a recording was grabbed between Marielle Brahim and Samantha Church, who is missing currently. But they were discussing that Brahim had accused Marielle of stealing something from his family's personal vault.
Very quickly, who was by the door? Because I thought last time I mentioned it, but I think I left for the windows.
I believe Cecil was the closest to the door.
Yeah, I think when we teamed off, me and Cecil went for the door, and you guys were closer to the window and the desk where the files were. Or at least
All I
that's
know
how I
is-
saw it in my mind.
All I know is as soon as Cecil hears the knock, he draws the gun at the door and just like
fires.
Who the fuck is it?
I was
Like,
gonna
I'm not
say
gonna
the reason
fire,
is
but-
reason
Open the
being is
door.
I'm gonna actually immediately go because I don't want them to knock. I'm gonna open the door. I'm gonna rip it open and just drag them in.
Yeah, they spill immediately in, and
Is it they've spilled in? I'm gonna slap
they've
them both in the face and be like,
yeah, and but they're also like panicking, they're breathing, but they're like shh, 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 shh.
I still smack them.
Anybody,
You have that right.
yeah, and as
I'm giving our
I don't know. I think Cecil's like, how do we know you're real? How do we know you're alive?
Hugh's gonna get the door shut behind him.
guys, you're like shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, and as they're like trying to crush you, then you hear something like slam up against the door and the window.
Gun swinging around.
And what you see is just what looks like a blob of some kind just kind of press up against it, and it's leaving like slick across the window. But as you guys look kind of closer, you notice that it's like made up of like limbs and body parts and stuff like that. And now as it's pressing in, like as you kind of notice the goo up against the wall, like you notice like an eye is starting to kind of float closer to it. Are you guys staying where you guys are, or are you guys trying to like hide yourself away from this?
I'm gonna grab a book or a piece of paper and trying to boost on that shit immediately up on the window.
What the fuck
So
is
you're
that?
going-
What the fuck is that?
So you're gonna cover the window with a book?
Yeah,
Like it's a long sliver window. Like it
Oh, it's a
goes
long
from
sliver?
the
I
it's
thought
like the
it's
length
not
of a
like a square.
door. Yeah, it's the length
Oh,
of a
shit.
door. So are you guys gonna
that's not
gonna
happening.
hide away from this,
That's-
or are you guys doing something
Oh,
else?
I'm ducking under the desk.
Probably backing away from the door, but I am also like pressing the newcomers. Like, what the fuck is that? Tell us about what it is that's chasing
I don't know
you.
what the fuck that is. That thing has been following us for the last couple of minutes and stuff like that.
Is it fast?
Thank you.
Everyone, shut the. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I think Hugh presses himself against the door as heavy as he can, propping that big eye arm against it, and hoping
I
to
wonder-
God it doesn't press the door.
I want you all to roll an act under pressure to see how well you guys are going to duck out of this way to see if this
How?
goo
We're
Act
dead.
under pressure is
Plus
plus
coolness.
coolness.
plus coolness.
So it's 2.
I rolled good.
Oh, fuck me.
I rolled a 10.
Rolled a
It's
10.
not too bad, right?
Okay, who rolled 15 and up?
I did.
Kayla, Hugh. Anybody else? No? 10 to 14. Nobody in
10.
It's a roll 10.
Okay, you had 10?
Yeah.
And
I have a 9.
9 and below?
7.
Oh no.
7
I
is.
rolled-
Oh shit.
I rolled 2 2s, and my
Oh.
coolness is +2. So Cole's doing bad.
Wait, you
Oh.
rolled. I'm sorry.
You rolled a
For my
6?
brain, do we roll?
I rolled a 6.
You rolled a
You
6.
rolled
two
2d10.
10s, right?
2d10.
I rolled. You know what?
You've
I
been
rolled-
rolling a
rolling.
d20 this
I
whole
did
time?
roll a d20.
Take it
Fair.
again. Take it again. Let's go.
Yeah, roll
You got
two,
this.
roll 2 d10s. Let's see what happens.
That's better. That's a 15.
Oh,
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
So yeah, so
Goodbye.
you,
Alright,
you
it's just
okay.
Cole then.
It's
Yeah,
Cole.
Cole's. Yeah, we know.
no, well, no, I'm a
we
9.
Oh, it's Cole and
Oh, and
Isadora.
Izzy.
Okay.
Yeah, so this thing slams up against the wall, and as this kind of goo just kind of seems to kind of like surround the door, eventually you just see like 2 like eyeballs just pop over the window and is like scrolling around. And everybody else kind of ducks and covers, but Cole, you're kind of a little slow on the draw. And like M.I.N.T is able to capitalize and get behind most of the desk, but you're just kind of still out in the open. And Isadora, since you are like right out front, you're just kind of deer in the headlights as they absolutely
Clock me.
clock you. Yeah. And as you guys, well, as you're making eye contact with this thing, it seems to like keep watching you as the eyeballs eventually like suck back into that form, and the thing just kind of starts to just condense into itself and just kind of shuffle off down the hallway for a little bit.
We might want to find another office too.
We were going to the basement. We should go to the basement.
Why did it give up on us?
You want to ask questions now? Let's walk and talk. Walk and talk.
I don't want to open this door and have it just lay a trap on us.
I mean, it's obviously doing that if it's moving away.
We have to stay here forever. We're never going anywhere else. This is just where
No. We've got to do something. We were talking about ending the ritual. That's the only way we got out of here.
Then we gotta leave the room, or...
Okay, we leave the room, but I think we need to go get Mary down in the safe. I can't leave her down here.
I think that's a good thought, because I'm thinking maybe this thing is running back to the Dubois. Maybe it's sending them towards us. They need us for the ritual, right? Maybe it's just a security camera.
Exactly.
We gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know what's great? Saying all this while walking out the room.
But
And I'm just
if it's ready to, I don't know, if it's waiting for us to leave, should we throw something out first? I just like...
Send the one with the gun out first.
I just take
Raheem,
No,
run out.
No, wait.
Can we back out there?
Not
Fuck
Raheem.
you, man.
Also,
wait.
I'll open the door and step out there, and you guys run one way, and I'll watch in case it comes after us.
I was thinking we could maybe push a chair. Also, Raheem, nice to meet you. I'm M.I.N.T. I'm an artist. I'm not in this gallery. I don't know if you saw my performance, but we'll talk about that later. We could just, I don't know, push a chair with the...
Put a coat. We'll put a coat on the chair so it looks somewhat human.
Right,
See what happens.
So the big plan here is to just toss a chair.
Just to make sure nothing immediately attacks it.
Okay, we'll toss the chair. I think Hugh goes and picks up whatever chair he can find. Do they still look like trapped in like the 1920s Art Deco style, or?
Yeah, it's like in the like dated more 40s, 50s.
Okay.
But yes, still in that datedness.
Got it. Yeah, so I'm going to pick it up and look to the others and say, I guess you run one way, I'll toss the chair the other.
Yeah, to the basement.
Okay.
All right.
Isadora, before you all decide to make a break for it, also remember you also clocked down this long hallway that before you get to the end of it, which would have the next service door that you clocked earlier, you did also clock a opening of a like office space if you needed to duck and cover in there.
There was
Just
like a
so you
midway.
remember.
There was like
Yes,
a mid.
there was a midway thing that you clocked last session.
Okay, I will tell that to everybody. Be like, we can either throw the chair there, see if it, I don't know, see it, and then we can just keep going, or we just barricade ourselves in here.
I vote that.
We gotta.
Never going anywhere else ever again.
We have to get in the basement. This office has. I need to be able to make more. Remember, I can't be in here.
So.
Okay.
So we're throwing a chair out the door.
We're on you, Hugh.
Yeah, I guess if you have a god, pray to it. If you don't, well, we're in hell anyways.
I was gonna say that they're not gonna. It's long distance for them right now.
This is so true.
We're all sort
So
of
what-
rotating
Yeah.
thoughts.
Picks up the chair with this eye arm and then opens the door itself, moves out into the hallway, and will look left, right, and then toss the chair right, I guess? Right is where we came from, right?
Yeah, right is where you guys came from. Left would be further into these offices.
Yeah.
Yeah, you open the door, you look out, everything seems clear. You take the chair, you slide it down the thing. I mean, you still hear, scratch that a little bit, it's not as quiet. You can still hear things going on in the background, but it is starting to quiet down, which means that less and less people are being present here. And you're hearing more of like moaning and groaning than you are hearing screaming and panic. But you throw down the chair down the hallway and you hear it just down the hallway. It taps it against the wall.
Yeah, once it hits the wall, he turns back to the others and says, I think the coat really did the trick. Let's go.
What is the exit order here? I assume Hugh is the one leading out first, but how is everybody following?
I think Hugh's actually going to stay in the hallway and let them all leave, and then he'll be the last to go, just in case something starts to come in the direction.
Cecil's not going to allow that. I think he will probably be defending Hugh and getting him to move as soon as possible.
Okay.
So you're going to be pushing Hugh, or Hugh, I mean, you can resist if you would
Yeah,
like.
unless he really resists, but I'm
not going to
defending-
resist too much.
Function.
He's just being crotchety and
Yeah. Okay, so I assume Hugh and Cecil are leading the pack. The rest, Reeves and Raheem are probably going to be following. They don't want to stay here long enough to find out what the next things are, and they're not necessarily concerned about any of your safety on the first go.
Fair.
But the rest of you, Cole, Mint, Isadora,
Alrighty, go.
who's going next?
I kind of want to like grab Cole to make sure that they're close by and sort of like quick check them really just subtly and silently as we're walking.
Can I?
But you're gonna.
Oh, sorry.
But you're gonna be kind of ahead of them, though.
Yeah.
Leading them. Okay. Cool.
Isadora's speed walking probably past them. Like, nope, I don't got time for this.
Mm-hmm.
Are there scissors or a letter opener or anything on the desk just out?
No.
Okay. Then I think Cole will just do like a quick look over, not see anything of use, and then turn back to Mint and just kind of nod and grab onto her hand and follow.
Okay. So as the main four gentlemen lead this party ahead down the hall, Mint, you're the first one to get out the door, leading Cole. Isadora, you wanted to kind of walk past them, but you kind of get bottlenecked, and Mint's the first one out, followed by Cole and you. And as you and Cole get out the door, I need you both to roll an avoid harm roll.
Yep. Okay. All right.
No.
Good thing I have a +0. That's fine. What you guys act?
13.
Woo! I got a 6.
Oh.
Hurt me, Daddy.
No advantages you can take advantage of?
I actually do.
Okay.
I am gonna use it if it comes to it.
Sure. I mean, what did you initially roll?
I rolled a 6.
You rolled a 6. Good. We love that.
Which I
13
don't.
for Mint, and then Isadora, what was yours?
Oh, I didn't roll because
you
didn't
didn't
I
roll
walk? Oh, I thought that was only
No.
Mint and. Okay.
No,
my
you
bad.
were in that mix.
I thought I got ahead of them. My bad.
No, you failed that previous roll.
Eli's
This is a part
no.
of. This is a part of it.
14.
14. Okay.
It took a minute. I was like,
Yeah, no, you're fine. Okay. So, Mint and Isadora, you are going to avoid the worst of this, but you might be in a bad spot in a couple seconds. Cole, are you doing any advantages outside of what you rolled on that 6 before we proceed?
I would like to use inner power.
Okay. You gotta roll for that.
face, dude?
Let's
don't know,
get
but
in
that's
touch
not
with your
good.
inner power. Do a roll plus soul.
All right, let's see.
Let's see what this looks like.
Now I've rolled well. 20.
20. Okay. Nate, you were, you wanted to make sure that Cole got out safely. And you thought holding on to them was like the answer as you're kind of semi dragging them down the hallway with you. Not wanting to be left behind by everybody else who's kind of just power throughing ahead. But as you walk out with Cole, and as Isadora finally clears the threshold of the door, that you hear like a rickety sound coming from like above, and whatever that blobby goo stuff just drops down on you guys. Isadora, you managed to get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of are now prone on the ground from it, and you're kind of stuck a little bit in the goo, but you're kind of just on the ground crawling away now. Cole, you kind of got smacked onto it, and you feel like just a bunch of different stuff, just the gelatinous ness of bodies and stuff like that, but you also just feel body parts, hands kind of grabbing you in this jello and stuff like that. And as you kind of like grow uncomfortable by this moment, you kind of, in the panic, just something inside you just bursts from you as this like light that you remember from a long time ago in California. It was the last time you saw that. As you seem to kind of just be able to unshape this goo away from you as it kind of just splats up against the walls unnaturally. And now you're just kind of in the middle of the hallway in the midst of just goo. And M.I.N.T and Isadora, you see all of this.
Yeah, you kind of see just like, you are used to Cole being very monochrome and like white, black, gray color scheme, but there is like a splash of like watercolor bright yellow kind of something that kind of wafts, detonates off them. And they're just kind of standing in the center. We should move now. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving.
What the fuck was that?
Interesting.
I don't know. I'm not in charge of it. It just happens sometimes. Can we please go?
You're lucky I was about to shoot into that thing, but yeah, let's go.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you guys heading? Are you guys heading towards the hallway, or are you guys heading towards all the way to the end of the hall?
I mean, I feel like the safest route is those back alleys or the back tunnels. So if I know that those exist heading towards the safe or the lower level, I will probably try to head towards that.
Okay. Yeah, but that's just on the end, the far end of the hallway. If you want to make a break for it, I'm going to ask you guys to act under pressure. If you guys want to try to hide for a second to assess your surroundings before you keep moving forward, then you guys can jump into the hallway that Isadora clocked earlier. Either way is fine, but it'll just be how we proceed forward.
I'm for making a break for it. I don't know
You guys
about
can
you
split
guys.
it either way.
Yeah. I actually have, I'm so sorry, I have this thing like Genius that I can roll whenever like life situations is like very life-threatening that can help us get out. Can I, within this time, see if there's another faster way, or should I hold on that?
I mean, you clocked earlier on a higher roll last session for the hallway, and you guys are just in a hallway. So the only option would be to jump into another office space and hide there, or to keep going all the way down the hallway. There's nothing there. But so I would.
We're running.
We're
Yeah,
running.
so, you're running so everybody act under pressure for me as you guys are fleeing for that service tunnel.
And we was running.
God.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh. Okay.
How we doing? Rolled an 11.
Who rolled a 15
Yeah,
and
I
above?
also rolled an 11.
So 15 and above.
I rolled a 20 and I got a 1, so 21.
Beautiful.
This is the time it
who
works.
did 10 to 14?
11.
Everybody. Oh, everybody else.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
Oh my lord.
Beautiful.
Oh,
good.
Why? Why?
That power walking is working for the doctor.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, that's what it was.
Nothing like fear.
That was
Still.
speed walk.
Yeah, so you guys, after watching Cole just break apart this Cronenberg-looking mass of patrons, you guys make a break for it, M.I.N.T grabbing Cole back to their feet as you guys all push down this hallway, which seems to just feel like an eternity as you just don't know what the fuck is going on. But as you guys finally break and push in to this service tunnel, hoping that this will bring some brevity, some safety, you guys enter, and it gets dark as immediately the door behind you slams shut, and you're now in this service tunnel, and it's quiet. You guys, do you guys want to do anything prior to moving forward? You guys going to move forward in the darkness?
Just keep moving, yeah. I'll kind of lead the way. I think I know how to get there.
I'm gonna put my hand on the wall really quick, like as a guidance. So,
I think
Somebody get
Hugh takes out like a fucking like ancient Nokia and like uses the backlight for a little bit of brightness in these tunnels.
Yeah, it gives you a little globe. You know,
Yeah,
the
Cole pulls out
cults
like
are-
a BlackBerry, does the same.
Yeah. It's probably
There we
like the
go.
last version of a BlackBerry.
It gives you a little bit of light, enough to kind of see. You guys kind of see a tunnel, a hallway, where you hope that's going to eventually lead to like stairwells, like it did in the previous on the previous floor. But you guys press forward. And as you guys kind of press forward, and you, Isadora, you're kind of running your hand against the wall, and once was like a smooth kind of concrete feel, eventually kind of starts to taper into something that feels like more oldish and cobbled stone. And eventually, like as you continue to trace your fingers along the way, eventually you feel another type of material, and then you just like feel like indentations and grooves. It's porous in a way, but it's not like stone or concrete. And if Hugh finally like passes you as you kind of like taper off to slowly feel it, what you see is just like a skull
Yeah.
as you kind of do that. And as Hugh, you kind of step further into the tunnel and getting deeper, you realize that like the walls are lined with skulls in the way that you've seen photos of the Parisian catacombs, where bodies have been stacked up upon each other and kind of made as like mortar to build structure here.
This was not in the blueprints when we built this.
As above, so below.
We're already below. How are we getting more below?
No.
I don't know. It just reminds me of France.
I wonder how deep it does go, actually, now at this point.
I mean, if the books are right, like 9 levels, right? Isn't that what it says?
The other 2 guys that were with us, are they still here?
Yeah, they're still with you guys. They've been kind of quiet, catching their breath. They seem to be like, when you kind of look at them, they're kind of been sweating as if they've been like running around for a minute. And this is probably like the first time they've had a bit of brevity. So they're just kind of keeping to themselves.
Do we want to ask them questions? I'm so sorry.
I am a little curious as to why a detective was at my gallery.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah. Why are you here? You see, like...
I mean, does that even really matter? Like, William's just like, he's an older man. Like, he's within his 50s. He's graying and stuff like that. He's like, he's somewhat fit, but like, he's taking some deep breaths right here. Just got his hands on his hips.
We're hitting different levels, but we have no information. So if anyone has anything else that contribute to the catacombs that we're walking into...
Did you already know about the painting? Was that right?
William kind of like looks over at Brahim. I was just kind of more involved in personal affairs, but it more kind of started leading into trafficking. But Brahim over here was more of the one who was dealing with a loss.
Trafficking? What do you mean trafficking?
Well,
in art, right?
Yeah, exactly. Brahim kind of like pipes up. I don't know how else your mother got the rest of these pieces, but the piece that I had in my possession was not granted. Something that our family decided to keep when that queen had died, and I never wanted it to see the light of day again.
How dare you suggest that we took this illegally or something? Everything at this center is perfectly up and up.
Cecil.
Well, explain to me, Mr. Thorne, how something that would have been tightly sealed in my family's vault all the way in Tunisia be here tonight in your gallery.
I mean,
after
clearly...
said specifically no. And I have the correspondence to prove it.
I mean, I'm sure there's some explanation. I'm sure the right wheels were greased. It's not that hard to acquire art.
There was no amount of money in the world Miss Dubois could have offered me that would have made me hand over this piece to her.
Besides it being so family heirloom, by it being so rare, why?
Why?
Yeah.
Why? I think we know why.
No.
Because
That
of
was
the evil. Because of the evil that was put on it. Because I am not ignorant to the monster that truly is Vaqueen, and the guise that everybody thought he was just a simple man, a man full of madness. No, he was an evil man, full of evil, and what he made was evil.
Well,
So you knew what this thing might have been capable of?
I knew it had some type of power attached to it. We didn't know how deep it went.
And
We
you
just
Showed
made
up
sure-
anyway. You should have warned somebody. You should have said something.
Could
Call
have
me.
burned it. That seems very irresponsible if you think
Okay, we
about it.
don't destroy art for no reason.
Well, did you
It
not
should have
notice
been.
how all the paintings and all this in one facility?
Yeah, if a
And
painting sends you to hell.
I'm just saying.
You're right. It should have been destroyed. But my father was an ignorant man. He thought that, it needed to be preserved. It needed to be saved. He believed
You
that.
are just. Did you follow in his footsteps in that arrogance?
No, I didn't. I wanted it to be destroyed, but it's
Right.
not my place. I do not currently own the rights to it. And as soon as I do, I would have.
Well,
So
next
that
time
queen-
the apocalypse comes.
Vaqueen left it to your family?
No, we acquired it when his assets were distributed upon his death. We bought it.
Did your dad talk about how to stop this thing that's happening? Did he mention if we destroy the paintings, we destroy what's happening?
Again, my father didn't want to destroy it. He said that you cannot destroy creation no matter where it roots. My grandfather thought we should just burn it, which was the simpler way to handle things. So I suggest just setting it ablaze. Or, I don't know, they're made of oil. There's definitely materials that can cut and ruin a painting.
Things of that power can't just be destroyed by burning them. They have a way of coming back, usually.
Do you know
Somewhere to start, at least.
if there was some sort of ritual like the one in the gallery that, I don't know, made those paintings evil? Maybe they're all tied. Maybe this is a part 2. And undoing this shit will undo the first shit? I'm also suspicious about burning it, is what I'm saying.
A door open can be closed. This is at least a lead.
Look, we just need to get Mary Jansen, convince her it's a stupid idea to stay down there, and then we sneak back up the way through the secret tunnels, and we get back to that exhibit, and yeah, we set these fuckers on fire.
If possible, I want to, because I can use my reasoning to get a little bit more information about the entity. Do I have to physically be in front of the paintings, or be off of this information that was provided for me? And
Is that specifically in your...
yes, for my advantages, I have for scientists, I have reason. So
Sure.
let me bring it up exactly so I can mess it up.
Yeah, what
Reason
is
your
the
way out of
specific-
hell.
Yeah, what is the specifics
yes!
for it?
I'm gonna logic this thing out. Sorry. Whenever I investigate an object or entity, oh shoot.
Yeah, so you need to be in
using
front of
proper-
something, yeah,
Well,
or a
using
being.
proper equipment, could that be my brain?
Wheeling and dealing, folks. Let me sell you on this car here.
No.
In the duffel bag,
You
I
know
have my
what?
brain.
I had to try.
You're not
I'm
also looking
very-
for an entity, or you're not looking at an object or an entity, so there's nothing for you to even science at the current juncture.
I thought
What is
I'd
a human
try.
body if not a machine?
That was good work. It was good.
If you were a doctor of psychology, maybe, but you're a doctor of surgery.
Can I operate on these vibes?
A Gouda.
Apologies, sorry about that.
No, you're fine. Okay. So are we moving forward? Is there more that you want to ask Raheem or William at this current juncture? Or do you want to
William
keep pressing?
still really hasn't given us anything of what he was doing here.
Well, he's investigating the, whatever stolen
Raheem
paintings
thing.
is going on. Yeah, I don't know if it's connected to Brahim. He might be looking into me.
Well, I was here for, as I said, I was here for something a little bit earlier. It started with your father actually looks over at Cole. Your father had initially hired me.
My father
rest
hired
his soul. Yes, yeah. He was suspicious of his wife having an affair with somebody at the office, so it started with that. But as I was investigating, I got the wind of all of this trafficking stuff, met Mr. Nassar here, and we just, I started to kind of look more into that because that seemed to be a more credible running of numbers than an affair from an old woman.
More money
Well,
involved, right?
I was gonna say, I hope you gave him a refund, because that kind of sucks. You didn't even do the job.
Well, I don't think he's really certain. Excuse me. No, I'm not going to say that. Sorry,
No,
Cole.
you can say it. I know what you're
No,
going to say.
I was going to make a crack about you recently. It's okay.
Restraint, incredible.
Listen, I mean, this affair thing, I mean, it strikes one of two bells for me. He mentioned that she was obsessed with this artist and spent time with him. That's one lead, but there's also that security fucker that wasn't calling back to you, Cecil. I mean, they seem to have been in league with this since the beginning.
Yeah.
There's no point in looking into Vakeen. He's been dead for years.
They apparently had a personal relationship, and if your mother's to be believed in any uncertain terms, death don't mean shit in this place.
What, you think Toset is Vakeen?
I mean, I wouldn't rule anything out of here. You saw the way they embraced and the way that your father talked about your mother and that artist. I'm just saying that she was obsessed with the guy.
She was obsessed with him because he had cool art. It was fancy. It was hard to
find. And all of
find.
that art tells a story of living forever, of sacrificing everything to continue. Something we have to consider is that this guy's still in play.
I don't know how it makes a difference one way or another. The only thing that seems obvious is that we have to destroy these paintings.
Well, it's if Toset is just Toset, then he can be dealt with like anybody else. But if he's some sort of vessel, then what if he's still here and we see him? Like we have to be sure if he can die, if he's someone we have to fight in addition to whatever the fuck else is outside.
Well, maybe we avoid him for now.
I've been doing
until we can't.
That's a fair strategy.
Yeah.
All right, let's go save that girl before God knows whatever leaks into the vault. If the vault's still a vault and it's not, I don't know, Al Capone's fucking bank.
It's not Al Capone's bank. We just keep a couple pieces down there. It's some storage mostly.
Well, I'm just worried the tunnels turn into the French catacombs. I don't know what the most valuable place in the building becomes.
Actually, question for Raheem and the PI, whatever your name is.
Reeves.
William Reeves, PI.
So we know that there's some spooky shit happening, obviously. And then there's hell. How much of this is familiar to both of you? Because we've talked about cursed paintings and sort of side hustles. Are you familiar with hell? Have you been here before? Do you participate?
Would you like to roll a read a person?
Yes, but I want to add my observant advantage, which just means I get extra questions depending on how I roll. Read a person. Add my intuition. That's 12.
12? Okay. That is...
I get one question.
You have one question. With your observing thing, do you get any additional questions?
I do, and I want to ask from that extra list, which is there anything odd about you, I believe?
You a fucking weirdo? Hey.
Yeah, you weird?
Weird. What are the other questions you want to ask?
Oh, I just get the one.
Oh, you just get the one. Sorry, I thought you got an extra question from your...
It just gives you different.
Different questions, I see.
Yeah, gives me extra.
I guess the weirdest thing is that despite being out of breath from running from the fear and stuff like that, they seem perfectly calmer in the situation than you would think a civilian would be.
Okay.
So they seem awoken.
Okay.
That's a spy.
Wonderful. Yeah, don't say anything.
I think they just know as much as we do.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that you might know that they have secrets of their own.
Mm-hmm.
Could I use my forked tongue ability to convince Reeves it's a good idea that he be in front of everyone and Raheem stay behind us?
Oh, yes.
Okay, sure. Yeah. You gotta roll something for that?
Yeah, I have roll plus charisma,
Tell me.
roll complete shit, and I add my charisma, which is not even... Oh, it's actually my best attribute, 3. That's 8, so they see completely through me.
That's brutal.
Yeah. You trying to kind of convince them. They ask you, "Are you armed?"
Yeah, I'm armed, yeah.
Oh, then you have no problem being up front there, buddy. He kind of like slaps you hard on the shoulder. Why don't you take the lead?
An inspector without a gun? What kind of fucking detective are you?
It is a social event, Cecil. You're the one who hired security.
Where is that security, by the way? Maybe if we find a dead one, we can take a gun off him or something.
Potentially being possessed by a demon of some sort.
I hope they don't know how to use guns when they're zombies.
I don't think they need guns when they're zombies.
You're really starting to embrace this place, Cecil.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that as much. I feel like I see the end. I know how to get out of here. I feel like we can do this.
I
Gotta work together. I know I haven't been, the easiest guy to get along with, okay? But if we work together, I think we can do this.
Well,
Inspiring.
I feel like this is a very good alliance that we all just made. Yay.
Shall we move forward?
Yes.
Down the hall? All right. You guys continue down the hallway together, now in mutual understanding. We're all on the same page now.
Cecil, if you don't want to go in the front, if you want to hand me the gun, I will go in the front.
Yeah, I'm not giving you the gun. I'm fine. I'm fine in the front.
Okay. Just thought I'd give you a little...
Cecil, you're the first to hear it. It's the sound of like an accordion playing.
No.
Then slowly it's kind of like accompanied by like a violin and a guitar. It's playing like French Romani jazz as you guys kind of get closer towards it. And even as you continue on, you start to kind of smell the aroma of like a city street, like the air, like dusty old like air and stuff like that, cobblestone, like the mustiness. And once you guys get to the stairwell, you almost even see that there seems to be like street light coming from above versus, what is probably going down lower would lead you to the basement where the vault is. But you kind of feel that there's like outdoors above you. What do you want to do?
I'm just trying to remember exactly how many steps before we get to the vault. I'm gonna just kind of keep heading in the direction that I think I'm supposed to be going. But if I feel like I've already gotten to or past the vault, then I feel like all is lost and we got to turn around. Well,
you're at like the split where you like you can either go back up to like what you're seeing that street lamp is like what you would be going up to the second floor, or you can go down into the darkness, continuing on, which would be heading towards the basement. So that's what I'm saying. Do you want to keep going downwards? Do you want to go up?
I'm not interested in visiting the town. I'll probably continue going down.
Okay.
What the fuck is going on around here?
Maybe we're already dead, and this is our mind trying to fathom the last few milliseconds before the synapses fire off for the last time, kind of bleeding in whatever memories we have left.
Was Vaquin French?
Anybody know? French in name.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
he was
this
French.
This reminds me of a Parisian city. Are these his memories? Is this something he's making?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys look up, you guys just notice, like, it's not like you can fully see it, but you see, like, a source light of what would be a street lamp. And you can even hear a little bit of street traffic.
Cecil, You might be onto something.
God, I kind of want to look, like, kind of creep and just see a little bit more.
Choices. I mean, you could go up the stairs and see what you see, or you could continue downstairs. I mean, you both,
Detective, do you mind checking that?
Why I gotta check it?
Because you're a detective.
Okay, you're a doctor.
So
I'll
if you're
check it.
hurt,
Okay.
I help you.
Isadora, Cole just starts walking towards it.
Hey, kid. Oh, shit. He'll start walking after.
No, Hugh, don't go too far.
Just
Okay, who's going up with Cole? Anybody going with Cole?
I'll go with Cole.
Oh, bless you. Cole is having memories of going to France as a kid with their mom and their dad, and just like having visited small French like countryside towns that only like rich people really go to visit. And I think after all the talk about like, was your mom cheating on your dad, and like all of this stuff, I think they're kind of drawn to the light of it because it's like almost like going back in time and trying to like, I don't know, see if they missed something or like rewrite history a little bit to be like, okay, no, there were good times maybe. So I think that's why they're going up toward the city, questionably.
All right, Cole, Mint are heading upstairs. Anybody else joining them, or anybody wanting to continue down to heading towards the vault?
I'll just put a hand on Hugh's shoulder and be like, let the youth is wasted on the young. Let's hang back.
let's hold.
Okay, if the rest of you are staying put where you're at.
Yeah. If Cecil puts his hand out, he's going to look at him and begrudgingly agree.
William Reeve is going to join you guys as Isadora's taunt and being
A bitch.
He resents that as he joins you three. You guys head up the stairwell, and the three of you who remain with Brahim watch as they ascend the staircase. And as they get to a point where you guys no longer see them, that street lamp dissipates and disappears. The three of you who decided to go upstairs, as you guys finally get to the top of the landing of the staircase, which you expect to be another hallway, is actually a street, a cobblestone street that's slicked with rain, and the air is thick with the scent of smoke and coffee and musk. Neon lights reflect the oily puddles, casting a malformed buildings of vivid color. You find yourself somewhere in 1950s Paris. As you guys kind of look around at this city that's kind of erected out of nowhere.
Okay, we did it. We looked, and this is what it is. We can go back.
We're in Paris. We're in Paris, and we were in DC literal seconds ago. Mint, this is...
Cole, it's not one of those fun times where we figure out how fun it is. This is not that. This is go back to where everyone else is.
What if it's safer here? What if we don't have to... What if we could just stay here?
No, to be accurate, we are in Paris. We were in hell. Then we were in DC. People take planes to Paris. Planes with wings, not planes as in dimensions. We need to go back.
But it's not scary here. It's not scary here. It's scary there. And
it is scary here. It's just not scary here yet. Listen, I know that you're going through it right now, and I can't pretend to know what any of this is like. My parents are human, but
you sure?
Maybe no. Maybe we save the mania for after. We can do weird stuff in DC. There's so many weird things to do in DC on Earth. Let's just go. Yeah. And leave your Sailor Moon chest light. Maybe that'll be helpful.
Eli, would I know if that queen was alive in the 50s?
I would say with somebody who has a background in it, even Mint would know this, that queen spent his childhood in Paris.
I'm gonna take Mint's hand. Maybe we can ask him.
How would we even find him?
He was a kid in France. We by the rule of every story ever, we wouldn't just appear in France in the 50s randomly in a random street for no reason.
Yes, but it would just be us. Like, if M.I.N.T turns around, can I see the group? Like, if I look back in the direction where they last were.
You turn around and what is just sidewalk, like where you guys stepped upward. There's nothing there anymore. It's cool. Now just the front of a storefront.
I love that. I love that about this life.
Nice knowing you.
I turn around and I turn back and I say, Cole, you remember the stairs that were behind me? You remember the stairs and the people in the DC in the gallery?
Mm-hmm, and the hell? Yeah.
And that's gone. There's a wine shop behind me, Cole. It's wine and cheese. And you want to find...
What else are we gonna do now? Mint, this is what we're supposed to do.
Sure. Do I have... I think I might have something. I might have something for this.
What you got?
While you sort that out, while you take a minute to figure out your next moves, the rest of you guys are you're downstairs. You were following the light, and your friends going up the stairs, and then the light disappeared, and now you're just alone in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to continue downstairs? Do you guys want to investigate the upstairs again?
Nope.
See where they might have gone?
That's a shame.
Actually, I'll come back to Cole and Mint and get these rolls, but let's keep it together here. You guys witnessed things, were told a little bit of information, and now 3 people that you just saw have now vanished out of thin air.
They're not going to be in Rush Hour 3.
No, they're not.
Keep it together. Here we go.
What a deep pull, Caleb.
Thank you.
What the fuck, dude?
My terrible rolls continue. I rolled a 9. The strain is too much for your mind to handle. The GM chooses your reaction.
Oh, they're not good reactions either.
Yeah. Suffer either -2 or -4 stability.
Oh my god.
I already lost 1 stability, so I'm unfocused currently.
Oh. We'll take the -2. You haven't suffered trauma. You're just losing people. You're actually, it's more of like you're starting to lose control here, Cecil. You, a man of power, authority, who's always been able to handle the situation, no matter how hard it's been thrown at you. And the fact that like nobody will sign your damn contract, and nobody's listening to you at this point. You got unruly employees that take off without helping you and stuff like that. You're starting to feel this amount of pressure, just pushing and pushing and pushing down on you. You're breaking, man.
And I know that Hugh agreed to sign it, so I think I'm gonna kind of fixate on him. And just like not let him out of my sight. Probably keep a hand out on him at all times. And I'm just like, we got to keep moving. If we're lucky, they'll come back.
Yeah. As long as Hugh stays alive, you have your patsy out, and you need to keep him alive at all costs. But you're starting to feel the distress of this, all this around you falling apart, and you have no control over it. Isadora, what did you roll?
A 19.
Oh, dude, you're enjoying this. You're having the time of your life.
I know.
Do you get extra stuff when you keep it together that hard? No, you just grit your teeth and you stay the course. You're fascinated by things. It's just
my suspicion, my gut suspicion proved to be accurate.
Oh, the science of it all. Yeah, you're just taking notes, taking names. Like this dissertation you're about to write, if you make it out of here, is going to be amazing.
No, because I pretty much assumed like they're going to get trapped, and then they did.
And then Hugh, what did you grab?
I got a 14.
14. So that is a slight complication to yourself. You take. Let's see. So you can choose from the following conditions. So you can become angry. You can become sick. All right. So Caleb, Hugh had rolled a
14, and so I've
14.
got to take one of these complications.
Yes.
I think Hugh is going to take sad.
Okay.
I think that he's just staring up at that light. He was thinking about how he was going to follow Cole up there. He's thinking about watching Cole shoot out that magic just before and realizing that they've got a lot more in common than he first thought. And that conversation they had by the punch bowl right after he talked with their father is making a lot more sense by the second. And so I think he just sort of stares wistfully up there. It's a shame. They were good kids.
They were great kids, wonderful kids, but that M.I.N.T had a lot of potential. But we have to keep moving. We have to keep moving for the rest of us, for the survivors.
Well, lead the way.
Yeah, let's get going.
So are you guys heading downstairs?
Down to the vault.
Don't say it like that, Eli.
Like what?
It sounds like we're fucking idiots. You guys are going downstairs? Yeah, we are.
Wait,
Show us the unspeakable horrors.
When we go upstairs,
We're
so there's
going
no
all
right
the way
answers here.
deep into hell.
Fuck
We're
Paris.
doing
It's dirty. It's full of trash. The
Yeah,
people hate us when we visit. We're going to hell, bitches.
We're
You
going.
know what? Fuck Paris. We don't want to
Yeah.
go to Paris. So as you guys continue down the stairs and you walk, eventually hitting the bottom, and you head towards the nearest door, which is not too far away. At this point, it's not as long of a hallway. It's kind of just, this is the bottom of the staircase door. So you go and you open the door, and as you enter and as you exit, the first thing you guys hear is the sound of gunfire, explosions, screams, and angry chants of people. The air is thick with an arsenic mix of gunpowder and smoke, barely covering the scent of sun-baked corpses that you now see. It's like daytime as the bright light kind of just like blinds you guys for just a moment as you guys try to adjust to all of this, being in the dark for a good plethora of this evening. And you seem to like walk out to what looks like somewhere in Europe. You hear, actually, as the chanting continues, as you kind of like now are starting to focus on the words and stuff, it sounds Italian. And Caleb, you as an academic man can kind of use.
Fuck yes! I knew I took that advantage for a reason.
And you can roll whatever that helps to contribute to kind of get a sense of where you might be at this current juncture.
It doesn't help at all here, but yeah, I can make a move that influences someone who has heard of my authority.
Oh, it does. Oh, I thought it was like
Yeah.
I thought it made you like.
I can gain access to a library.
You could try to observe.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take it as you, as an academic man, can start to notice the general layout, architecture, and stuff like that, and you believe that you are somewhere in Italy. Maybe in a much more busy city, maybe somewhere like in Milan or something like that. But it seems you guys seem to be stumbled upon what seems to be like turmoil, riots, and civil unrest that's currently happening here.
I think Cecil is trying to see through the illusion. He's trying to find the doors, the familiar doors of the vault.
Okay, roll me that.
10 plus soul, which is 1, so that's 11. You see reality, but you also affect the illusion. The GM chooses one, something senses you, or the illusion tears around you.
Something senses us. I don't like that one.
Well,
Yeah, wait. I don't like that either.
Eli does have a number of moves against me.
That's true.
Oh, I don't get much. Sorry.
Yeah, Hugh is just fucking marveling that they've stepped, away from Paris and somehow back into Italy, and is at a loss. He's like touching the cobblestone at his feet, searching around the room, trying to understand where exactly, what time frame, what conflict this might be.
Actually,
Isadora, yes.
because we're in a life-threatening situation, I can see and discover a way out. Do you mind if I roll for that, for genius?
Sure.
Okay. Oh, that doesn't totally suck. No, that does it to 15. Yay! I can choose up to 3 edges, which is rational. You realize how to save yourself. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to use that because that's horrible. How about this? You realize an effective way to dispose of the threat, and then I deal 1 harm whenever I exploit it.
Okay. We'll keep that in your back pocket for anything that arises while you are here in Italy. Cecil, you, as you're witnessing this riot happening in the streets, and the fact that it's impossible for one to exit a small narrow hallway and enter into the bright city streets of Milan, you try to see through the illusion, and as you do, you can tell that this is not. This is a construction of a space, right, within this place, that it's manifesting from something, and you can derive that what is probably manifesting is from Vacqueen itself, that as this ritual has plunged you somewhere in this space, it's leaking Vacqueen's life and his memories and his essence into it. And what you might be witnessing is a core memory that's now becoming tangible reality. And now you're trapped, you're stuck here in it. You're within these walls. And as you kind of even look toward, when you look at people from the corners of your eyes and in the peripheries, from a distance and stuff like that, they seem like normal people. Their faces are constructed normally as you would be looking at Isadora or Hugh. But when you start to focus on them, then you start to look through it. They're not really people, or they're not even alive anymore. They're constructs. Their faces are falling off. They're old rotting corpses that are reanimated and reliving this time period that seems to have fixated a point of Vacqueen's life. But as you kind of fixate on that, a moment somebody approaches you, one of these rioters, these anarchists and stuff like that, and they start speaking to you in Italian, and they're thrusting this paper in front of you, and they're asking and demanding something of you, and they're pointing their fingers at you, and they're pointing their fingers at the paper, and they continue to aggressively shove you, and as that one person starts to get up in your face, now another person starts to get up in your face. Now it starts to seem that other people are getting involved and demanding a question be asked, but yet you don't speak Italian, so you don't even understand what they're asking of you, as they could keep, and they're starting to push you and shove you and get really, really aggressive. And Hugh and Isadora, you see that a violent showcase of a crowd is starting to form around Cecil as they're starting to get aggressive.
Yeah, I don't even care. I think I'm pulling that gun out. I'm like, back up!
Oh,
if they don't back up, I will shoot at one of them.
Yeah, I mean, when you pull the gun, it doesn't stop them. Somebody just starts throwing something at you, and people start to, the crowd.
I'll fire into the crowd.
Okay,
oh my god!
Roll for combat.
This is incredible.
Isadora, Hugh, while Cecil rolls that combat roll, are you guys doing anything? Are you helping him? Are you guys getting involved with his shenanigans, or are you just witnessing a crowd, a mob starting to form against Cecil?
I think Hugh is going to push his way the best that he can, making way to get to the center with Cecil and start pulling people away from him. But it's very clear that Hugh is trying to keep his emotions under tap so that nothing goes out of control in this situation outside of Cecil already firing into the crowd. it's high intrigue, high pressure, and Hugh's worried he's going to lose grasp over that arm of his.
Let's act under pressure then, as you try to tame an entire crowd of people who have gotten violently aggressive with Cecil, especially now that he's drawing his gun probably by the time you can get to him. Isadora, what are you doing?
My question is, there's no way can I influence others? Because I know it says influence an NPC through like trying to figure out what's going on. I know I don't speak Italian, but I can curse a bad thing, and that's the only thing I know. Is there a way I could kind of figure out like a way to, like, I could say some Spanish words that are close to it, like no entiendo. I don't know.
People, please, spaghetti lasagna.
Well, I'm not going there.
I'll allow you to influence others and see how this goes. The higher you roll, the better, the more you can tame the crowd and see if you can get maybe some of it. But yeah,
Eli, could we say that if the two of these folks are successful, it might calm the crowd enough that I wouldn't fire into them? It's only if they're just like not stopping.
Sure, we can see what the rules are and we can collectively agree of what exactly happens. Isadora, what did you roll on that influence?
Don't know what that means.
I got a 9.
Oh, there it is.
So
unfortunately,
I'm so sorry.
Let's see.
I didn't help at all.
Yeah. What happens when you influence others on a blow?
It's what is it? None. Is the attempt has unintended repercussions.
So the mob, when you influence others and you got a 9 and below, the character gets a +1 on their next roll. So the mob essentially gets a +1 on their next roll. Since you decided to roll against the group of people.
But if that is, is that for PC, or I thought for NPC? That's where it's like we just get screwed.
What is that? Hold on.
Oh, yeah. When you influence an NPC, your attempt has unintended repercussions.
Oh, well.
GM makes a move.
Either way.
That's worse.
I was trying to
going for the mob.
Because I was trying to like, maybe it won't kill Sergio.
Yeah.
Like just, or me.
Or it might.
Maybe it's a nursery. Hold on.
Yeah.
They're not killing me.
You're not gonna go down, not without a fight. Yeah, so I'm sorry, Hugh, you rolled a how'd you act under pressure?
I rolled a 12, which means it's not good, it's not great. You do it, but hesitate and are delayed or must deal with a complication. The GM reveals an unexpected outcome, a high price, or a difficult choice.
Unfortunately, with the low rolls, Cecil, none of these stop you from firing your gun into the crowd. As the crowd starts to just continue to get violent with you, Cecil, and it panics you into the point of pulling out your gun, and you're debating whether or not. And Hugh and Isadora are moving through the crowd, and Isadora's trying to like try to do something with the crowd, but it's a lot of gesturing and a lot of no one getting what they're saying or even bothering to care. Cecil, you kind of get into the front. You're trying to push people away from Cecil to kind of just give some space, but in that panic and that fray, Cecil fires into the crowd, and
I rolled a 13.
For what? For the shot?
For the engaging combat. It says you inflict damage, but at a cost, and the GM may choose one. Subjected to a counterattack, you do less damage than intended, you lose something important, you expend all your ammo. I'd really not like to do that. You'll be set by a new threat.
Don't tell Eli the one you want the least.
I don't know. New threat sounds like shit.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that I would just like fire everything. I'd probably just do a warning shot.
It's a panic single shot, but what you did was you actually hit somebody, and you hit somebody in the crowd, and it's just like some young man who just gets shot straight in the chest by your bullet, and then he goes down. And then everybody around you, all these faces that no longer look like normal humans, they look like old, living dead corpses and stuff like that, start to just turn on you. and start to just now attack all of you at once. Like the mob just goes after you guys, and start to kind of grab onto you and physically start to like get you guys on the ground. Both you, Hugh, and even you, Isadora, are going to get caught into this. So let's...
Oh, fuck.
So yeah, the complication is that the mob is now after you.
Well, at least Hugh and I didn't get shot. That's what I was worried about.
How do you guys want to proceed? How do you guys want to get out of here? Do you guys want to avoid harm? Do you guys want to engage in combat? Do you guys want to observe the situation, try to find a way out of this? How do we want to move on? And we're going to hold those rolls because I would like to check in on our other team.
So in my mind, I got a complication off of trying to help with the crowd.
Yes,
I'm thinking that
in this grapple.
Hugh is panicked by the shot. The shot goes off, and all sense of control he has over those eyes go off. And so my intention is to use his advantage inner power to get us as free as possible in this situation. And the complication would be I'm about to hurt a lot of innocent people if it goes off the way it might.
Okay. Roll those dice. It's roll plus soul, I believe.
Yeah.
So if Brahim is close by us, right?
Yeah, Brahim's involved in this stuff. He's involved by proxy. He wasn't.
I'm doing everything I can to put him in harm's way. Make some kind of move to put him in harm's way.
Thank
if
God.
I do it, I can use my new advantage called Opportunist.
Okay.
But it's going to be something like like not endure injury, but maybe an engage in combat or a.
Let's avoid harm. You're trying to get out of harm's way.
Okay.
And you're going to use Brahim to get out of that harm.
All right. That's what I'm doing.
Damn right.
And just hold on to that roll because we're gonna Isadora, anything else you want to do to get you're in this kerfuffle?
Yeah.
How do you want to get out of it?
I'm gonna try to avoid harm.
All right, roll that avoid harm and hold on to that roll number. Cole, you turned around expecting to see a staircase back downstairs to the safety of your friends and the tunnels that you were hoping to get to the vault. And now you find yourself in the middle of Paris. Roll a keep it together for me. How do you feel?
Not great.
Happy in Paris. 11.
10.
All right, you both are going to earn yourselves conditions as you are losing your stability. Let's see. So you can either become angry, sad, scared, guilt-ridden, obsessed, distracted. How are we feeling?
I think Cole's distracted.
Okay,
I think Mint is scared.
great. Check out those boxes. Hold on to those feelings. What do you want to do?
Okay, you said we can get the fuck out of here if we find him, right? We just have to find him.
Let's just find him. It's fine. Come on. It's like, I know Paris is kind of gross, but isn't it kind of fun? We can go on like a little Paris date.
No! I would love to after this. Yes?
Really?
No! And Mint turns around and starts looking for where people would be. Like, is there a place that they can enter, like a Starbucks? Not a Starbucks,
Yep,
but
it's
something. You know, the Starbucks in 1950s France.
Just a little cafe.
Yeah.
I think Cole is gonna have like a manic sort of giggle at Mint's obvious distress, and then kind of like swoop up behind them and like loop their arms together. One, to mess with Mint, but mostly so that they're together and like they stay together.
Yeah, Reeves is following behind you.
Oh yeah, there's a dude here.
Yeah. So I heard you talk about your fancy date, and he's like,
Oh, yeah. Reeves, do you speak French?
No.
God. Okay.
He probably
I know a
speaks
little.
Italian.
I know.
No.
I
Yeah.
bet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're looking for the artist. I don't know what you do.
He'd be a kid at this point. We can just ask if anyone knows the McQueens.
Yeah, we just need to talk to a little boy alone.
He doesn't have to be alone. He can have a person there's nothing weird about that, right?
Maybe not in the 50s.
It's the 50s.
Just start going forward saying McQueens? McQueens? I don't know.
If we find a cafe, Cole will go in and in passable French ask if anyone knows where the McQueens are.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as you guys link arms and walk down this cobblestone, you eventually get down to a street where, you're in what seems to be like part neighborhood, part series of like cafes and nightclubs and cabarets. There's apartments that kind of are on top of shops and buildings that are on the bottom floor.
I just love that you're going into every building in Paris and going, hey, you guys know Steve?
You know Steve Smith?
Yeah.
He's
Where
a
he
little
at?
boy. We need to talk to him.
Where's his son?
Yeah. I think that's all I can do.
As you guys continue, you're seeing all of these buildings. I mean, you could easily go. You go into like one of the cafes and you kind of ask that queen, and the person kind of looks at you a little confused. Not like seems like a very common name or like never heard of them. Kind of shoves you off unless you're here to buy food or to you don't really see anybody who can help you. And even you two see that from a distance these people look normal, but the closer you get to them, you start to see that their faces kind of start to wither away and turn into, rotting, almost fleshed corpses, or even flayed bodies in a way, to kind of just remind you every time you interact and engage with something here that it's not real. It's an illusion. And you're kind of playing into it a little bit.
Can I see? We're in a cafe, you said.
Currently, yes.
Can I just start, I think once it becomes clear that this is not reality, Mint's going to start pushing tables and start, coffee painting on the wall of the cafe.
Mm-hmm.
To try to quickly replicate one of the more iconic paintings or something.
You're gonna make what painting? The one of
Geez.
Yeah, there's a specific one I do want, but I need to get the prison, the self-portrait.
Oh.
Okay. So you're going to fashion an image of the portrait.
Yes, and while that's happening, I'd like to use my new advantage called Forbidden Inspiration.
What do you roll for that?
Roll plus soul. If I succeed, there's a chance that I can see through the illusion, but I have to roll well enough.
Okay. Yeah, roll.
Okay.
And that'll
Art will
determine
save
how
you.
how you fashion from the illusion this image.
Can I help her with that? Can I assist?
How would you like to assist?
I mean, I went to art school too.
That's right. I'm
Were
their
you a
TA.
sculptor
What?
or a painter? What did you do?
My medium was watercolor.
I think because mint is
Coffee.
Coffee is like watercolors.
Mint.
Mint's
Mint
doing
is drawing
spooky
from
painting.
Mint is drawing from an internal power that not just going down and grabbing some paper and painting.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
This is true.
Mint. What did you roll?
Sorry, I got excited about painting. I rolled plus soul. Okay, so that is 10.
10.
Which means I get one option. And I do want to... I want to entice an entity to come to me, and I would like the entity to be him. To be Vaqueen, if possible.
Let's go, dude.
Interesting.
And Mint is wildly painting and jumping from place to place. This isn't like methodical work. This is, as she remembers details about this painting, she's jumping from place to place. And I think as she's painting, you see her movements get a little bit stiffer, but she's still moving with just as much speed. I'm just sort of mumbling as she goes. Yeah, that was the secret one. Also, that's the secret.
It's a nice secret.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done.
Maybe.
Sorry, give me 1 second.
No.
Technically,
Look,
that queen is tied down to something.
Seeing how serious Eli looks right now terrifies me.
Yeah, this might be bad. I feel like I might have just like summoned Bowser into World 1, but we'll see.
No, not yet. Okay, so you go outside of the cafe and you start to paint something.
I'm in the cafe painting with coffee on the wall of the cafe.
Okay, yeah, you just go, you grab that cup of coffee and you start to splash it on the wall, and you start to paint something which you thought was going to be like the face of Vaqueen or something like that, a piece of what you've seen his likeness to be, or what it might be at this time. You're not sure. But as you're kind of painting that, instead of painting an image of a person, you start to start painting what looks like to be like the face or the side of a building that kind of matches this rich coffee texture. And it seems that you're building and painting an access point to what you're looking for. You said as you're like painting this, you're envisioning Vaqueen, you're wanting to know where he is and stuff like that. So instead of manifesting him himself, you're manifesting his location. And you find you're now painting what looks to be the side of an apartment and its front door.
Is this something that I've seen before?
No, but it looks like it's a part of the overall neighborhood and stuff like that. It fits the motif of what you know. And as you kind of finish painting and you step back, it kind of looks realistic enough as the coffee's kind of dripping down the walls, but it seems real enough that if you were to reach out and grab the knob of this door, you might be able to open it and enter in.
Okay. I think she just starts reaching out. She looks at both of them, at Reeves and Cole. I don't know, and sticks her hand into the painting.
Yeah, you reach onto the doorknob and it feels slick, but it feels slick in the way that like rain might be like casted on a doorknob. But you turn it, and then it makes that sound that as it's physical as you fully rotate it, and you open the door. Continuing in.
Yeah.
Fucking incredible.
Yeah, you open and you enter into this subspace, manipulating this illusion that's around you to your will. You enter into like a small apartment, and the first thing you hear as you kind of go down the hallway into this apartment is the manic scribbling of something, and then the ripping of paper and the crumpling of paper and the toss of it aside, and then again the scribbling, ripping apart, throwing it away. It's repetitive. It's like clockwork. It's just a manic and obsessive. And as you kind of turn this corner, you see this youngish man who just seems to be covered in this sea of papers, and they seem to be like constantly drawing over and over and over again. Seeing that the thing doesn't manifest what they want, and they immediately tear it apart without even giving it an opportunity to shape it or rebuild it. And as you're kind of sitting there, like kind of in the corner, seems to be this large, daunting, male-looking figure that kind of has like long, lanky arms, and it seems to just looks similar to the person down there, but much older and stuff, but it seems to be kind of looming over this person's manicness, and it seems like it's kind of casting this dark shadow over them. You both clock the person as you guys get a little bit closer into the hallway, as that young person is in fact a young version of that queen, who's manically and obsessively trying to draw almost like the perfect painting, or something on his paper, and continues to just filter through this cycle while this thing watches on.
You did it.
Does it... This might be your part? I doubt that boy speaks English.
Yeah, what? Do you want me to ask him anything specific? Besides the obvious.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Cool.
Yeah.
Cole will kind of take a few steps into the room and keep an eye on the thing in the corner.
Mm-hmm. You see, the thing seems more fixated on that queen, but you notice that it's like is kind of like hovering around that queen, and it's got these like sharp appendages around it, and as you're getting closer to that queen, you notice that he's kind of wounded a bit, like on his physical person, that you're noticing, and you're most likely it's coming from this thing above him, but he's still just manically focused on drawing and ripping and tossing.
Can I pick up one of the things that he tosses off to the side?
Sure. You just open it, and it's not much of anything. It's like an attempt to like draw a face or a person or something, but it's never really past the first entry stages of it. It seems like the moment he went slightly out of line of the circle he was drawing, it was now imperfect, and he immediately discarded it. And it seems like similar to all of that, it's starting to like really pile up around him.
I'll just hold up one of the pieces of paper and in French say, "Seems like such a waste. Here's always the back of the paper, yes?"
He seems to ignore you as he kind of draws another bit of it and finds imperfection in it, throws it away.
I want to try and catch his wrist when he throws it, just to see if he reacts to me physically.
Mm-hmm. The moment you grab his wrist, the one that's drawing the physical paper, you feel like a lot of resistance from it. Like you're breaking a cycle that he needs to continue on, and he's moving it, trying to get closer, fighting you to put his pencil back. And between the both of you, like eventually, like it just causes the pencil itself to just break, and now he has nothing. But he's just like fixated on the paper, and the thing behind it starts to stretch itself up, and ignoring you just kind of strikes down on Bat Queen and wounds and injures him for stopping what he was doing. Mint, do you want to do anything while Cole's doing this?
Yeah, I think as soon as I see the strike happen, I immediately like stand up and kind of like, hey, like I think I start like trying to stop them, but I don't have a plan yet. So I think I just get up and like punk him, I guess. And I think that's
Okay.
I'm looking for stuff, and then I look back to Reeves like, do you have anything? Or no, I have a knife. I have a knife. I take out my knife.
Reeves has a gun.
Okay.
Reeves was armed. He was just not going to let Cecil bully him into being the first man in the hallway. But yeah. But yeah, you call out to this creature, you know, after Vecqueen has been struck, and it puts its attention towards you, and you can feel as its gaze kind of leans into you that you can feel that dark shadow kind of cast on you, that feeling of disappointment that an artist often feels by others who don't understand their potential. And you know, as you're holding that knife out to it, it seems to kind of start to move its hands towards you, but definitely keeping that thought and gaze on you. If you want to harm it, you may.
I do want to, especially I think M.I.N.T has wished that art block could be personified as something that they could stab all of their life. So I think they immediately go for it.
Okay, yeah. Roll that harm. Cole, roll me something of yours, of your advantages. As now that M.I.N.T has kind of distracted this creature and has taken its eyes off of him, that gaze seems to have relieved him somewhat of that shakiness that seemed to have plagued Vecqueen as he kind of is steadying himself and taking a breath. Seeing how you have a moment to maybe communicate or to do something in this moment with Vecqueen.
Can I use my influential friends?
Sure.
And just try and make a connection. He wouldn't know my mom yet though. But maybe if this is like full on, like all of Vecqueen's sentience is somewhere in here, I think I'm still gonna try to reference my mother to get some kind of something out of it. Like just try to make I guess I'm just trying to establish a connection.
Trying to establish a connection, yeah. Yeah, roll that. Do you have to roll something for that?
Yes, plus charisma.
Plus charisma.
20.
Wow. Do you have anything specific that you want to tell him? Now he as he's like taking these deep breaths, he finally notices that he's not alone here in this moment. He's now finally willing enough to look up at you and take in the person who is in front of them, and he seems to feel a bit of relief. Like you're like, you know, if you're approaching him with kindness or understanding and stuff like that, you know, he definitely feels that coming from you.
I think if there's that connection, I think Cole's immediately going to try to say something along the lines of, you know, your creations have been used in a perverse manner and are wreaking havoc on the living. How do we stop it? And like some kind of something, just to like seeing the creature in back of him. I think Cole thinks that maybe it wasn't him fully that was in charge of all of the weird shit, and that maybe he was also influenced. So I think she's trying to get some kind of an upper hand or something.
Yeah, so you kind of reach down to him and you kind of try to reason with him in this moment, and he's kind of muttering something under his breath, that, you know, that he's like, I'm gonna fade away, it's all gonna be for nothing, nothing's going to remain, you know, I'm not gonna leave anything behind in this world, I have to keep doing all of this.
I think Cole is gonna start naming every artist they can think of who was not successful in life, but is seen as one of like the great artists of sentient life, like Van Gogh, and that's the only one I can think of because I don't know much about art. But Cole knows a lot about art. Cole went to art school, so Cole's just like naming artists offhand that he would know as well. And just like, it's not for nothing. People will remember you. It won't be nothing, but we can't have them remember you for all of the harm that your art might cause. How do I stop it?
What good is art if it's not even going to be appreciated by the ones you love? And he kind of like motions over to the big creature that stands before Reeves and Mint. In a sense, getting you that he's my father.
My mother tried to sacrifice me. She didn't love me. He doesn't love you. There are other, better places in the world to find goodness.
Where?
I don't know, but I know they exist. Friends.
Cole, yeah.
If I
I'm sorry.
If
yes,
I could
Matt?
offer everywhere else, trust me, I'm the need to get the attention your parents didn't give you from everywhere else. That's art, buddy. You're on the right track. You're
Yes.
fine.
My art is different than yours and hers than everyone's. We all have different art. We all find it in different places. But they're right. I love their art. And I could love your art if it wasn't used to kill everyone, you know?
Before it got bad, it fucking slapped.
Yeah. I was excited. Honestly, I hated my mom's galleries, and this one I was really, really excited about.
He takes a moment to like take in and absorb all your words. And Mint, were you this other person that you have taken attention to, that gaze hasn't left you? He's getting closer, and you had intentions to engage him in combat. Is that still a thing as you kind of call that last bit out to Vecween, or to Vecween?
Yeah, I think at best she's saying this as she's potentially like trying to grapple this guy, but she is going to try to stab him.
Okay.
Oh, and I rolled a 10.
You rolled a 10.
Yeah.
Vecween looks to you, Cole, and he holds out his hand to you, and he says, "Show me. Show me where they are."
Do I take the they to mean the people who will love art, or the people
or who would love his art?
His art. Okay. Yeah, I'll take his hand. And I think I'll just try to like project images first of myself and Mint. The entire gallery of people who are gathered to see his art. Brahim, anyone in art school who even had like a passing interest in Vecween, professors that I learned from, and then I think with a little trepidation, Sasha and all of the people in California. I don't know like for a fact that they would have liked it, but I know that it was in their area of interest. And I think it's just like a Rolodex, and once Cole personally runs out of people, they'll start over again, and they'll like slot in just like random celebrities and like politicians and public figures, just to like round it out, to make it seem like it's not a full lie, because I don't know it for sure, but it's not necessarily the truth. But the
Your
main
mom
one,
liked Vecween.
the what?
Your mom liked Vecween.
Yeah, my mom. Oh yeah, my mom. Yeah, definitely my mom in there somewhere. Yeah, everyone that was at the gallery, for sure. I think My mom comes up more than I intend her to as time goes on.
Okay. Yeah, and you list all these names of all these people who and it seems to fill him with a bit of joy and understanding that there are others. There's a list of names and stuff like that, and it seems to uplift him in a way that brings him some relative peace. Though Mint, you are this being has gotten close to you. This giant monster of a person with this disappointing gaze. You go and you slash at him as he kind of reaches out towards you, and you manage to like slice off one of his fingers. And Reeves also kind of just pops off his gun right behind you, and it seems to like make the creature like kind of recoil. But it goes and it just like swipes its hands back out in rage. I want you to avoid harm for me. Let's complicate this a little bit.
13.
13? Okay. Yeah, so he you kind of for the most part duck out of the way, but you fall on the ground and your knife is now not with you, but Reeves also takes some damage as well as he's kind of flung to the ground. You guys didn't realize how incredibly strong this creature is, and as you guys are starting to feel its weight, realize that like you can either try to continue to fight it or you can get out of here as well, before it starts to really tear you guys apart. So with that, and Cole, with holding on to Givat Queen, what do you guys want to continue to do here? Do you want to continue to fight this creature? Do you want to continue to sit here and talk to Vet Queen, or would you like to take him somewhere else to safety?
I think ideally Cole wants to take him somewhere else, because in Cole's mind, this thing is the problem, not him.
Okay.
Can we still see into the cafe, or are we closed in the apartment?
No, you guys can still see the cafe. It's the front door of the building now. What you see, it's just the door was closed behind you, but now you see that same door is still there. It has not disappeared. You're you're in this house.
Yeah, then important part of the creative process. Let's just go on a walk.
Come on.
Yeah. Okay. All you two roll act under pressure to see how you guys escape this as you bring Vaqueen out try to get him into the hallway as you are scrambling to your feet to get out of here and to leave this place with Vaqueen.
It's a 9. Oh, good.
8 and a 9. Fun. Okay. Yeah, you guys try to escape this being and stuff like that. Cole, you finally get Vacuum gets to his feet. You help carry him along the way, and stuff. But he's such a massive being, and it seems that as you guys are running down the hallway, he can just stretch both of his hands out and try to reach and grab onto you. And he does end up grabbing onto the back of both of you. Cole, I need you to roll me another inner power here.
$17.
17. Yeah, as Vaqueen's father grabs onto you and starts to kind of drag you both, you still holding hands with Vaqueen, you feel that build again in you, that inner power. And you also notice that as you're kind of doing that, the power's not just resonating from you, it's resonating from Vaqueen as well, as you seem to both emanate with the same resonance of power as that watercolor bursts from you, as well as what seems to be mixtures of more heavier pigments like oil and stuff like that seems to be, as it rips apart the hands of Vaqueen's father, which allows you guys to get through the door.
Hold on.
And then as you guys open that door, fling it closed, holding on to Vaqueen. The other three, I had you roll rolls for things that are going on as you are being insulted by a mob of anarchists in the streets of Milan. Cecil, you wanted to use opportunity to try to get Raheem to replace you in this fray so that you can get out of the crowd. Isadora, you were avoiding harm as well as you, Hugh. So what's the results of this group? How are we doing? Oh, very good. Hugh? Oh, yes, yes, that's right. You were causing harm.
Say it again. I had you muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was causing harm with my little inner power thing, and I rolled an 18, which means the power attacks all opponents in your vicinity, causing 2 harm. So,
Jesus. And
yeah, that's gonna be wild.
What was your avoid harm? Because you'll probably get a lick of this depending on where you land.
Actually, this works out. I got a 12, so I avoid the worst of it.
But you get a little bit of it. Okay, cool. Hugh, do you have a description of how your inner power manifests with that arm?
I think that he's panicking in the center, and he's seeing that Cecil's getting 12 different arms put on him, and Raheem's now being pulled into the mess, and the gun's discharged, and he knows how bad a panic like this in a crowd can set in, and he's having flashbacks to South Texas. And his arm begins to bubble, metastasize, and grow, and then shoot out at the wrist in tendrils that almost web across the crowd, grabbing onto the necks of each of these crowded members, a huge mass of them being conglomerated around their necks with these big fleshy eyeballs that are forming themselves into hands, and picking them up and fucking tossing them, trying to clear the road as much as he can, sort of like a venom blast around him, Cecil, and Isadora, and Raheem.
It's beautiful. Yeah, you spread that everywhere, and it seems to grab all of these living corpses and just toss them about. And even you, Isadora, unfortunately, probably got hit with one of these bodies that they were kind of scattered and pushed around, which gives enough opportunity for Cecil to kind of slip out, using Raheem as kind of also that have that barrier. So you guys are now cleared enough as Hugh sweeps away this mob to run.
Yeah, if I manage to put him in harm's way, my opportunist advantage kicks in, which I gain stability +1 when putting someone else in harm's way.
Oh shit!
Okay, yeah. So add that stuff to your.
So I go from distressed just to shaken.
Oh yeah. The confidence is returning. You're regaining power over the situation, and it's giving you back to a state of normalcy, which is emboldened. So you four though are still together. Raheem is going to be running behind the pack, since you kind of left him behind with the remaining of the mob. But he's a big enough and strong enough guy to kind of push off the stragglers who didn't quite go down from Hugh's power. As you guys are fleeing away from the crowd, though, a bunch of the buildings and stuff like that are kind of just been destroyed by fire or rubble and stuff like that. But up ahead, you notice that there is like what looks like a bank of some kind, but it seems that it's been blown through, and it's like a bit of rubble going on around the front. But it seems like a cool place to duck out and hide if you guys are looking for some safety for a moment.
Well, we definitely want to prioritize cool places, so we will probably head there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You see, it's Al Capone's bank. I was right.
I might be like, as we're running, I might be saying something like, Italy, you two brainiacs, what year do we think it is? Was that Queen here?
Well, to be honest, I don't know, and I don't give a fuck, I don't know.
Yeah.
Hugh, what do you...
Could I put forward like an investigate or an observe a situation to like rack my brain for anything I knew about that?
Yeah,
Queen?
Italy riots. There's got to be a point in time.
Some connection back.
Absolutely.
To...
Both three of you want to either observe the situation or investigate where you're at. Let's do that. Let's gather our surroundings.
Yeah, I don't have good reasons, so I can't investigate.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with investigate.
Oh no, I'm gonna observe the situation. My perception is really good.
What would that dice?
Okay, I have a 15 for my investigate, so I've got 2 questions whenever you're ready.
Sure, let's start with you then.
Okay, I'll just start with how can I find out more about what I'm investigating? So I'm looking for some connection to that queen. How can I find it here?
Mm-hmm. Okay. What's your second question?
Is there anything weird about what we're looking into here? Is there anything odd that I'm not considering about the situation?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Sorry, give me 1 second. So your first question is more centered towards where you might be able to find that queen in all of this fray.
Yeah, so first question really is, where do I find the connection to that queen? Second question is there anything weird about that investigation? Is there anything weird about what I'm looking at?
Okay, the first question is kind of like you're somewhat of a history buff, you know, you taking time to observe general research, especially around that queen. You would have known that queen spent some time in Milan. He spent some time here during when Italy was in some deep civil unrest, especially in this specific city. This was later in his life when he was getting well into his art. He was a avid fan of Caravaggio and came to Milan to study his work. This is a remnants of looking at the chaotic turmoil of his time in here in Italy, because he was coming here to study Enlightenment and came into nothing but chaos.
Yeah, so I'll turn to the others and think it's got to be the 40s. He came here in search of his favorite artist. I think if we find him anywhere, we'll be searching down Caravaggio. He's here somewhere in Milan.
I have to know of a Milan art center or something like that as a gallery owner myself. Do I need to roll for that, or do I know off the top of my head if there's any art centers in Milan?
1 second.
Or maybe I know of a row, a street or something where galleries are or commonly found.
Yeah, there's a couple places in Milan, museums, famous museums that you could go to. Sorry, I'm gonna have to butcher some Italian.
Good stuff.
There's the the Casa Museo Voci di Stefano, and where's the other one? I just lost it. God damn it. The Pinacetta di Berra is another public gallery that would have been around during this time.
I had one of the best lays of my life in Milan, and she lived next to the Pinacetta. Let's head there first.
Sure.
As we're going, I rolled an 11 for my observe the situation, so I get one question. What is being hidden from me?
Okay, I might tie. I will probably tie this in with Caleb's last question. But before I do, Sergio, were you observing the situation too, or are you just following off the backs of?
I was letting them take charge of that. I'm not good with that.
As you guys are kind of nestled in this bank, kind of taking a breather to kind of, get a bearings of what's going on before you ask another round of locals, how they really feel. You guys, Isadora and Hugh, kind of clock something, because the fray's still going on in the distance. You're still seeing people throwing stuff, fighting in the streets. The turmoil and the chaos, is still present. You're just in the background of it now. And as you guys are doing that, you guys clock something amongst that fray, something that fills you a little bit with dread and uneasiness. Where did the description go? It gives you kind of an ethereal feeling. It's a shadowy figure amongst that fray in the distance. It's tall and imposing, dressed in Tunisian fashion. It appears to be getting closer and closer to you, but it never seems to at the same time. Like every time you look away, it's still kind of in the distance. You're kind of clocking and seeing if that's really there. But you never really get to see what its actual face is. It's just this like blank face of darkness. But it radiates a very fearful aura in you, in the way that like those who have brushed themselves up against death or have felt death before, in your case Isadora, kind of radiates that feeling. But as he kind of gets amongst that fray, it kind of also disappears out of your sight as Cecil kind of interjects about his lay in Milan and going to one of the galleries where we might be able to find that queen.
Stay out of the shadows.
Stay out of the shadows. If anything, we should be in the shadows, right? We need to lay low and figure out how to find that queen.
But you know the route.
I do know the route. Yeah, follow me.
Yes. I'm gonna keep I will look back every now and then, just so you know, just to see if I keep, if that thing is following us, or probably is.
I mean, every time you look away from it, it seems to, you still kind of
oh no,
catch it in the distance. It seems like it comes to you, but every time you look away and come back, it's all the way far away again. But eventually, as you continue pressing on, once you get away from where that centralized disturbance was going on with the crowd and stuff like that, once you get away from that, as you guys are now traversing to get to this gallery, he seems to have slipped and disappeared away from your periffs. As you as that scared feeling, that terrible aura that radiated from him kind of dissipates and disappears. But in a few moments, after taking some time walking through the streets, you eventually find the Pinacetta di Berra gallery. It's kind of torn, in the same fashion, torn. Been seeing the remnants of this overall chaos here, but it seems unoccupied, and it seems like maybe a safe place to be. Are you guys heading there?
Yeah, I think we'll stumble into it.
Okay. Yeah, you walk in. It seems, you see light coming in from the outside as if something from the roof had kind of collapsed, and there's just a series of debris everywhere.
I mean, unless there's something immediately obvious, like something that would draw our attention, Cecil would probably like stumble to the reception area or like a desk and probably pull the contract out from his pants and slap it on the table and be like, we can't keep going. If you don't sign this, you have to sign this, Hugh. I have to know that if I at least die here, I'm going with my soul intact.
You really want to do this now?
The way things are shaping up, I don't know how long I have.
You really think that this is the smartest thing for you right now? Just here, bare, and in the middle of this gallery, we're going to sit here, we're going to remove everything that's wrong with you.
I take out a pen and I click it, and it's just a signature. It's going to take 2 seconds and we can keep going.
You don't know what happens when I sign this, do you?
No, but I have a sneaking suspicion.
Isadora, as you're looking around the gallery, you hear like a rusted can get kicked across the thing as it kind of scatters into the gallery, as now you are realizing that you're not alone here while the other two are talking their conversation. You guys clock the sound of the can as Cecil is trying to hold out that contract.
Cecil. And I'm going to point in the direction.
I'll just quickly roll up the contract, stuff it back in my pants, and probably aim the gun in the direction.
Who's here with us?
Isadora, do you want to go a little bit in further where you heard the source of that can?
It can come out to us.
Okay.
I'm staying with the guy with the gun.
I mean, you kind of peek over the corner and you notice that, like, on the floor, there seems to be, like, a makeshift, like, bed here tucked in the corner. And then you know, as you kind of, like, look around, you don't even go around and do a little cursory glance, and you notice that there's, like, cans and other stuff that, like, somebody's been, like, kind of living out of here.
That painting of him. He was living in a hoarder's home. He had just made love to that woman. Hugh is like tacking onto this and thinks he has something and starts moving out towards where that can came from.
I think it was called the coupling.
Coupling.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'll probably move with them and try to turn the corner to get a better view.
Yeah, as you guys kind of clock that corner, you finally see the makeshift bed there. What looks to be like a small thing of a kitchen fire or something, like makeshift kitchen to like put to warm and to keep warm. There's a collection of wine crates covered in dust and a crumbled mortar, and scattered amongst the rubble are just sketches of portraits of shadowy figures stalking the streets. There's also sketches of what you guys saw of the tears of Jaraba and the surrounding desert, kind of on the walls and on the floors, and paper on any type of material that could be found here is starting to be scattered with these images. And as you kind of follow the trail of all of that, eventually you see someone much older in life, a younger man, but emaciated a little bit, manic, with kind of hair grown out, out, and even a disheveled beard and mustache kind of growing, is just a man hunched over with charcoal, drawing more of these images and sketches, and he seems preoccupied that. And the can, you see a can not too far by where he probably just accidentally kicked it in his fray of trying to reposition himself to be able to continue with his work.
Is that him?
It must be.
Somebody say something.
We stepped into his painting. It's like we're drifting through his memories. Baqueen?
The sound of his name startles him as he kind of, still crouched, kind of turns around and he kind of puts his hand out fearfully.
No.
Stay away.
No.
I'll put the gun away. We won't hurt you.
I'm gonna step forward and kind of crouch down and be like, no, we're not here to harm.
The moment you step forward, he steps back.
Okay.
Who are you? What do you want?
We're trapped and we want out.
I'm a doctor. I can maybe help you if you're hurt. Are you hurt in any way?
Doctor? What doctor? Doctor?
Yeah.
Why would a doctor? No, you're lying to me. You're trying to deceive me. You're trying to put things in my head. I know.
Nuh-uh, because I have a degree. I worked too hard for that. You're not taking that away. Back Queen. Hey. No. I'll pull out my wallet. I'll pull out my wallet and I have a business card where there's like a doctor symbol. I'll be like, look, here's a doctor.
He takes the card out of your hand. He looks at it for a moment and then he just goes and starts scribbling something on it with his charcoal.
I should have thought that.
Get it back. It's gonna be worth something.
Can I get a sense of which painting he's working on right now? If it's one of the ones we saw in the exhibit.
The one is the not sketches of the paintings, but the sketch of the triptych, the Tears of
the centerpiece.
Yes, and the desert you're seeing it seems to, in your experience, someone who is of academic stature would know that this is some type of a type of desert that might be found in Africa. Okay. And there's been mentions, of Tunisia and things of that nature. So you're seeing him draw images of this place, and drawing images of those particular symbolisms that were part of the overall ritual that was used to start off all of this.
I'm gonna find one of the charcoal sketches of the triptych, and get as close as I can. I know he's gonna back away, but I am gonna turn it so that he can see his own piece and bring it close to my face and wait for him to calm down. And Hugh's reaching down on his old knees and just trying to make eye contact, however sporadic it is, with our queen. And he speaks low and slow and says, I have to know what this means. You and I are very similar. We're scared. We're scared of what happens when all of this ends. When we stop breathing, when there's no more work to be done. But where I come from, you killed that fear. You escaped it. But this thing, it's killing us. It's taking away our opportunity to come to terms with what's happening to us. And you can help put right what your obsession took from us. I need your help, Queen. I need you to tell us what this means and what we can do.
The more you say that to him, the more he seems to get kind of distraught, as he's trying to rack his brain in order to see if you're being honest with him, if you're not lying, if you're not putting just more thoughts into his head. He's already, he's pressing his hands up against his forehead in anguish, trying to reason as he's kind of muttering to himself. And he even starts to, say, you don't get it, you don't understand, out there, there are answers to be found. It's more than just anything. We could transcend life itself. We don't have to deal with all of this suffering and all of this pain and this chaos and this turmoil. It can all end. We can figure it out. It's out there in that desert. they know the answer. They found it, to figure it out. I just have to find them, to find them. They know the answers. They figured it out. They know who to contact.
Who are you trying to find?
Your yelling, Cecil, kind of disrupts that moment of understanding between Hugh and Vaqueen, as Vaqueen gets angered by it, and he starts to reach down and grab something immediately and throw a can towards your direction. He's like, "Get away! You're trying to sway me away from the truth, from the answers that I'm trying to get. You're putting things into my head." And
I don't know how much longer I can put up with this guy.
I'm at a loss, Hugh. Do you have any ideas?
There's something here. I mean, we're in the paintings. He has to have something for us.
Maybe if we kill him, it'll fucking end and we can fucking get out of here.
Can the business card, the one that he signed, can I get that? Like, can the drawing or anything specific? Is I'm trying to see if there's like a clue or something else on that. That's okay.
Yeah, he probably tossed it onto the ground, so it's easily, he's kind of scooted himself back. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Hugh, you would also, he would also know that, like, you guys came to this specific gallery for a reason. You weren't necessarily hoping to find Vaqueen here, but you were also running a trail of the sources of his inspiration.
Caravaggio, yeah. Maybe it's not about him. He's the person that put us here. But he had to learn from somebody, right? He came to Milan to study Caravaggio. He came to find the theatrical lighting. He tried to understand the biblical stories. Maybe it's there. Fuck him. Yeah. What do we need from him? He put us here in the first place. He thinks he can cheat death. He doesn't understand. He doesn't get that no one gets to say no. Let's go find Caravaggio.
What is the... Caravaggio didn't have magical paintings. I mean, what good are we going to find in it?
No, I don't know. There has to be something here, and if he won't give it to us, we ought to find it.
All right, fine.
Isadora.
I'm debating if I want to influence him.
You can.
I'm going. Yes. No. I already had bad rolls with this. Not going to do it.
Oh.
I'm just going to back off.
Okay. So where are you guys going?
Just going to move through his room looking for Caravaggio.
Wandering the gallery.
Before, I know that there was dusty bottles of wine and whatnot, and I would like to snatch one. But while in his room before we leave, is there anything that that draws our attention that could be a clue in any way? Because he's in the room, but I want to see if there's something else that we're not seeing because we're distracted by him.
Outside of the series and the arrays of the sketches that he's now put on these walls amongst the rubble and stuff like that, nothing of note. I mean, the crates of wine does have wine in it, so you easily can get a bottle.
Okay.
No secret. And even Vaqueen seems to perk up when you seem to get the bottle, as Cecil and Hugh have backed off a little bit, and it's kind of settled down a little bit. He notices you. And the bottle.
Be like,
but he goes back to sketching.
This is a good year. This is very good. Wait, does he do anything?
No, he's just sketching, but he's now in a much more calmer state. But you've got.
Can I bottle. I'm gonna see how far, like, uncork the wine, see if that actually relaxes him. Like,
if you
even
want to
more.
if you want to try to influence him with the bottle of wine, then I need you to influence him.
There we go.
The others can observe the observation or to do anything if you guys are looking for something associated to Caravaggio. But we'll see where Isadora is going with that. 10.
I hate 10s. Let's come back and bite us in the ass.
So you pop open the cork of wine, and you, I assume, take just a sip of it. And then you reach down, and you kind of shake the bottle near Queen. He gets a little startled by it, but he notices that it's wine. He grabs it with both hands, sniffs it, and then starts to kind of drink and consume it. The others, what did you guys want to do as you guys are trying to look for something associated with Caravaggio?
I rolled dog shit for my investigate, so you may get some information anyway, but you pay a price for it.
Okay. What about you, Hugh?
I was going to investigate too. Can I roll for that?
Yeah, please do.
Please roll better.
I rolled a little better. You may ask one question. The information comes at a cost determined by the GM, such as requiring someone or something for the answer, exposing yourself to danger, or needing to expend extra time or resources. Will you do what it takes?
What is the question you want to ask?
How can I find out more about what I'm investigating, which is Caravaggio? Hopefully, maybe we'll find that painting from the very beginning of the session. Also known as the Taking of Christ.
Yeah. You guys wander a little bit around, trying to see if there's anything in any of the other rooms that are kind of adjacent to this one. As you kind of hear Isadora kind of passing a bottle back and forward with Queen, and you just hear his muttering and shuffling around in the distance. It takes some time, a considerable amount of time. This was a surprisingly large gallery than you expected. But eventually in the back, there is some paintings of hyperrealism, and amongst those would be The Taking of Christ by Caravaggio.
Oh, yeah.
And what you see also down at the bottom of where the painting is, amongst this fray and dust, there is another person there. It looks like an old man beggar, but he's kind of just wrapped up in cloth, just laying at the foot of this Caravaggio.
All right, we found it. What do we do? Do we talk to this guy too?
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine why he's here other than to talk to us.
Does he look like Queen? Like a different version, an older version?
No, he kind of looks like just an old man beggar. Very tangly, wiry gray beard, tattered and ripped clothes. He just seems to be just snoring, passed out on the ground. Somebody else who probably took refuge here from your general assumption, but just interesting that it'd be nestled under the Caravaggio.
Hey, old timer. I'll probably nudge him with the gun, try to wake him up.
Actually, Hugh, with your academicness, would you say you have a strong skill in art history?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Outside of writing, art is his great love.
Okay. Cecil, as you kind of approach this man and be like, "Hey, old timer," kind of question the purpose of this person. he kind of like starts to get up, trying to waver off your disturbance. But as he kind of sits up, you clock this person, Caleb, Hugh, as Michelangelo Mercesi de Caravaggio, the artist himself, as an old man just nestled underneath his painting. And he's just like scratching himself, patting the dust away from his face. But he just looks like, what Caravaggio would have been had he not had been successful in his art.
As soon as I realized that and realized that Cecil is smacking Caravaggio with a 9mm pistol, I go up and grab Cecil by the big open collar and bring him back. I don't think you want to do that.
Why? Who is it?
That's him. It's fucking Caravaggio. That's him, the artist.
I'll look down at the body and. So what is this, like a purgatory for artists? Well, we're gonna find
it's
Picasso
hell.
next.
I'm sure they're all down here.
So you would know that when you brushed up against the illusion, that this felt like this was stemming from memories and things of that queen. And it's an extension of himself.
So then why is Caravaggio here?
Did he meet Caravaggio?
I'm pretty sure Caravaggio was much older, wasn't it?
But think of it. Who put the idea of living forever in Vaqueen's head, other than someone who had already done it? Could it be that they met?
Maybe they did. Hey! I'm Caravaggio.
He looks up at you. He smutters something in Italian.
Well, oh fuck. Speaking the English?
Good. Yeah, that'll do it.
He continues to say something to you in Italian. It's just good.
Do you know Latin, Hugh? There's got to be some bridge here.
Sure.
I just want to know what he told Vaqueen, if he knows him.
Is there anything I could do to attempt communicating here on a roll?
Unless you speak Italian. I
don't think he'd speak Italian.
You could try to gesture him, but you also do know that, that queen is here in the building.
Yeah.
Oh, they could translate. He lived in Milan. Doctor, could you get him over here drunk?
I was going to say, how far away were they? Did I hear any of this at all? Because I was drinking.
No, you've been you turned around and Hugh and Cecil are gone. You heard them walk off and they were talking about their next game plan. It was let's go find a Caravaggio, but you didn't follow them. You've been focused on drinking with that queen.
Okay.
So yeah, but they're in. You guys are in different rooms.
All right, we got to get the doctor then.
Yeah.
It's just remarkable that they'd pick this painting, this artist. I mean, all of this. I mean, the taking of Christ is the birth of the betrayer's kiss. And in Dante's Inferno, when they're taken in to see the devil, Judas is in the middle head of Satan's mouth. The ultimate betrayer. I mean, it's all true. It's just...
I didn't read Dante's Inferno. Let me get the doctor. Just keep an eye on this asshole.
A part of me wishes I had gone to hell with someone who had read the classics.
Calm down, okay? Stop thinking such negative thoughts. We're gonna get out of this.
Okay. I'll stay with Caravaggio. Maybe he can talk to me about Dante's Inferno.
Have him teach you a little Italian.
And I think that Hugh literally goes up and starts tapping at where Judas is kissing Jesus on the cheek. And Hugh, in his own way, is trying to talk about how beautiful he thinks that moment is, even though Caravaggio's never going to have a connection there. He's just desperately trying to explain.
Yeah, he seems to nod and point in the same direction as you, say some things, but you're not sure if it's towards understanding or just general conversation. What are you telling Isadora when you get over to...
I'm power walking towards Isadora, and I'm like yelling, like, "Doctor, we need him! Get him up!"
Jesus. Coming. I'm gonna... Hold on, let me see if he's open to the idea of moving.
He's down.
Ask him if he wants to meet Caravaggio.
Oh. Caravaggio. Would you like to meet Caravaggio?
He's pretty intoxicated. He's drank most of the
That's
bottle and stuff like that.
excellent.
So he seems a lot more calm and compliant.
Caravaggio.
When you say Caravaggio, he's like
Caravaggio. I'm gonna kind of grab him
and he
up
starts
from...
telling you something in French about stuff, and the only thing you really can pick up is the Caravaggio. Like he's like explaining something to you passionately about something that he loves, but the only thing you're getting is Caravaggio. And he's like, he's like holding you by the shoulder, grabbing you, and it's just like, you know.
I've been
but
there.
he seems much more friendly and much more complacent than he was like 10 minutes ago when he thought you were putting nonsense into his brain.
Caravaggio.
So
I'm going to shuffle, like, I guess arm him just in a nice way. Bring him, let him bring another bottle with us too, probably.
And he seems to receive that as he's like linked arms with you. He's still talking to you about all of this stuff. He's like pouring his heart and soul out about something that he knows so much about. You know, like, you know, you met, you know, and you're just nodding along as you're leading him with Cecil down the way until you guys get back to where Hugh was. And Hugh, in the same way, that's kind of what Caravaggio's doing with you. He's trying to explain something to you that you seem to receive the passion by it and respect it, but not quite understand what exactly he's getting at.
I think Hugh definitely has a moment where he's looking at one of the greatest artists who ever lived, who painted far more masterpieces than anyone had any right to, and, you know, built Baroque. And he's caught in between the moment of like, this is going to be one of the last things that I ever do on this earth. And I will never be able to explain this to anyone ever again. And so he's just trying to soak up the moment of all of this Italian he'll never understand, and watching the master point at his work and knowing that this is almost worth whatever way he dies in the next few hours.
I respect that.
Yeah. And as you're enjoying this with him in this moment, and Isadora slowly brings in that queen, you guys both unite these two. And, you know, there seems to be a moment of recognition of these two together as they both kind of sit down in the way that they were kind of both explaining their passions to each other. They both kind of come together and explain their passions to each other, and they both seem to understand each other, both speaking Italian, and they're just going back and forward. And while you saw that queen in the height of madness, that madness is just rippled away as he seems competent, present, and just in the place where he wanted to be. You know, sharing, you know, the love of and the passion that he has with someone who also genuinely respects it. And you three are here witnessing all of that, and it all seems pretty good. But then Hugh, Isadora, who observed and felt an underlying presence earlier in the fray and stuff like that, can now start to feel it creeping in around this illumination of passion and joy, and it's terrifying and it's scary, and it seems that you might not want to be a part of it if it continues to enter into this space. So You've united Vacuin with his hero, but your safety is still on the line here. What do you want to do?
We want to ask him a couple of things.
I mean,
What does he say?
we can barely
Hi.
speak to him. He speaks French.
Maybe this is
I-
enough.
I thought
Honestly-
uniting them would do something.
Well, let's take the painting and let's go.
You want to steal the taking of Christ?
Like it matters here? And by the way, if this is hell, why is there a picture of Christ here? Exactly. So,
Okay.
So what are we doing? We're stealing the painting, and
Why-
or are we?
is that what we...
We'll
well,
take
we
the
gotta get-
painting.
Okay. Yeah.
We might... I thought...
If
Unless
they
I'm
let
wrong.
us.
The two seem to be enwrapped in their own exchange, that they don't see you taking the painting, but you do grab it off the wall. And are you guys just exiting out of this building?
I don't know. I think that like this is not leading to anything concrete, and I think Cecil is really, distressed, and I think he would probably like walk up to Vacuin and just be like, all right, enough of this powwow. What do we do next? How do we get out of here?
Vacuin seems annoyed by the fact that you've interrupted his conversation and starts again to speak French to you about, something that seems seemingly rude to you, Cecil.
You don't speak any English.
He's not speaking English to you.
Sortie, way out, leave.
He kind of just like throws his hands in in a random gesture, but as you guys are trying to converse with him, that feeling is still leaking into the space.
Hell, I'm out.
The feeling of like we're about to be in trouble.
I
That
think it's the
feeling of-
Tunisian guy that was
The Tunisian guy,
too
the
long man.
lingering of evil, of death that was
Okay,
kind
if
of
I
earlier.
feel like time is running out, I'm gonna cock the gun and put it to Caravaggio's head and say, "Start fucking speaking English and tell us how to get out of here right now."
What are we doing?
That doesn't work.
We are finding solutions.
No, you're being dumb because now you're going to make noise. We need to go. This is not involving us.
Do you want your idol to die? And I'm looking at Vacuin.
Vacuin seems very panicked by this. He's trying to raise his hands to you and trying to gesture that this is, not the way to do things, or to try to insist that you stop doing that. I'm still speaking in French.
Point in a direction. Point, and I'm like pointing in different directions.
I think Vacuin will point in the direction in where he was initially camping, but there was a further hallway past that.
Okay.
All right, let's move.
Okay,
That's something.
we need to go.
Oh, yes.
Okay. As you guys start exiting the room, leaving behind Caravaggio and Vacuin, it seems that an illuminating shadow eventually snuffs out them in that room as you guys make your way back out of that way, heading past Vacuin's little hideout, his little sanctum, amongst the sketches of all of this, the sand dunes and the images of partials of his paintings. You guys enter into that darkness, and that is where we're going to leave off tonight.
Heyo.
Because we are at time. Yeah.
Oh,
Well done,
man.
guys. Very good.
Man,
A little Europe tour.
how are we? Yeah, this has been nice.
Are learning languages. That's the best thing.
So international.
The Duolingo demon.
Yes.
It's coming after us.
Yeah, I should have made a deal with the Duolingo demon.
Yes.
Oh man.
The fucking
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us this evening. If you guys love KULT Divinity Lost as much as we're enjoying it, be sure to check out KULTRPG.com, where you'll be able to get access to the source books as well as wonderful modules, including the Atrocity Exhibition that you guys can play with your tables at home. If you like us here at Mayday, we have tons of other awesome stuff that we have going on. We have completed our Vampire the Masquerade campaign, Vegas by Night, as well as our Tales from the Loop campaign run by Lev. Our upcoming Doom to Repeat Seas Arc 3 will be coming in the upcoming fall, and we have a couple of other stuff that are going to be happening in between. So please keep a weather eye out on what's coming up next after this.
I just want to say one quick thing, because we haven't said it before, but all of the art you are seeing, besides the cool little icons that Zach made for us representing our character, all of the art in the background and stuff is all art that you can find in the book of KULT. It's really cool. And
the KULT book is really pretty.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Absolutely
Very stunning
gorgeous.
book, yes.
It's so fun to look at the art in.
It's like on level of like the zine work in the vampire books, if you're familiar. Just gorgeous, really catered details in each page.
Yeah. Which is why we would like to thank Red Moon Roleplaying for helping contribute to this actual play, which has helped us get access to such art and stuff like that. So thank you.
Yeah.
And have a good rest of your evening and weekend, and we will see you soon.
See you next time, guys.
See you guys next time.
Bye.